any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild travel, a Bookseats experience.
This is Brock Faber of the Minnesota Wild. Having grown up in Minnesota, I know all about the legend that is Tom Reed.
Hello, fans.
He's been good when he has to be.
Well, Tom, doing very well, thank you. I've had a couple of beers, so I'm okay.
Great broadcaster, better person.
A Henway tomorrow.
What is that?
What?
A Henway.
Depends on the size of the hen.
Oh, and you get to hear him every night.
This is Tom Reed. Thanks for listening to Wild Hockey.
Exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
I mean, his compete level is, he's smart. He knows where to be. I mean, he's played for so long. I think, he has more fun, stopping good players and doing his thing. But for sure going to be special for the fans tonight, too. Obviously for him, it's a special building, and it'll be cool to kind of be able to play. Hopefully he can get one on him so he remembers his last one here. Thank you.
Canadiens forward Cole Caulfield on facing Marc-Andre Fleury in Montreal. It's coming up in stop 3 of the 5-game road trip. Welcome to the pregame. Kevin Fallness in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center. And here are your news and notes. Last night, the Wild pulled out a 3-1 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto, despite finding out on Tuesday that Kirill Kaprizov would miss at least 4 weeks. The Wild responded with a textbook effort at Scotiabank Arena, taking a 2-0 lead in the first, and didn't blink even when the Leafs cut the lead in half on a Willie Nylander goal in the third.
Yeah, we didn't panic. We didn't chase or take any dumb penalties. We stayed with the plan and just chipped the puck out and even had some ozone time to waste some time and get some scoring chances. So a very good game. You can never be perfect, but it's a very good road game.
Philip Gustafsson, back-to-back wins for him. He made 31 saves last night to net his 20th win of the season. Back-to-back wins after falling flat on Hockey Day, Minnesota, when the Wild lost to the Flames. Gustafsson said the coaches weren't happy. They let the team know about it. And since then, the Wild have responded in the first 2 games of the trip.
We had a meeting before the Calgary game, and we said something, and we just did a complete different things, and we got called out for it. And the players we take it to heart when we get called out, and we just went back into the Chicago game to really show the coaching staff that we're willing to do it and we can do it. So
Wild got their 30th win of the season last night, 19th on the road as they sweep the Leafs on the season series. Tonight they get the chance to do the same thing to the Montreal Canadiens. After beating them in St. Paul 3-rip in November, the Wild are looking for a 9th straight win over the Canadiens, but tonight will be special because it's most likely the final trip for Marc-Andre Fleury to face the team he grew up watching.
It's weird, I feel it's just another team on the road, right? I have so many good memories from different building playoff battles and games, around the league. But Montreal is special for me. It was my favorite team growing up, right? I always cheered for them, and to have my friends and family, so many of them at the game that day too, will make it super special too.
Fleury has won 4 of his last 6 starts and is 10-5-1 on the season. All time, he's got 27 wins against his boyhood team, and tonight gets the start in goal.
I'm sure it'll be emotional for him. It's been unique, obviously, having Flower, having announced this last year. So even like a game at Pittsburgh, it's kind of a different environment for everybody because he's so beloved. Usually you get that in your own rink, but then when you go on a visiting rink and you have it, it's kind of a unique experience. But the good thing is the reason why he's a Hall of Famer is he plays great in those environments. I think he can handle all the things that are around the game, the family, the friends, I think the media, but then when he gets locked into the game, I think his competitive juices and his focus kicks in, and he's played very well.
That's John Hines. Tonight is game number 1043 for Fleury, looking for win number 572. Probably his final trip to Montreal in a career that spanned more than 2 decades. Those are your news and notes. Tom Reed is next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
All this week on MLB Network Radio, the players take control. Players Week, where the best voices in baseball take over as hosts. Josiah Gray, Kirby Yates, Jazz Chisholm, Royce Lewis, Liam Hendricks, Justin Lawrence, Nick Martinez, and more. Players Week, all this week on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes bounces and all those kind of things doesn't go your way. But yeah, like you said, I think we worked hard at home, but maybe not the right way. Like we've been good on our own, so maybe start playing white at home or something. I don't know.
Jules Eriksson calling for a permanent whiteout in St. Paul to bring some of that road magic to home ice. Tom Reed is at Bell Center. Maybe not a terrible idea, Tom, considering 19 of their 30 wins this season and their most impressive victories have been on the road.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. The thing is, when you look at Minnesota right now, they found a way to win last night, and they played well right from the drop of the puck. They were going north of the puck, north and south. They weren't going east and west, but they had the speed also. And I think everyone was engaged right from the drop, and there's no question about it. That was a huge game for Minnesota to get that victory. And give even Foligno getting 2 empty net goals, one last night, one other one in Chicago. I mean, he just works his tail off all the time, and that's a big thing for Minnesota. Just a hard work paid dividends for him last night.
And how about that fourth line contributing? And like you said, it was a full team effort, but it's always nice when the fourth line contributes.
And that's what you're looking for. I mean, everybody, just because you're in the fourth line doesn't mean that you're the odd man out. I mean, you're the fourth line. You have a duty to do, and that job has got to be on the ice. You have to be aggressive. You have to be physical. You have to move the puck. You have to do the thing. And I thought every line in Minnesota last night was really engaged in that game, and that fourth line did a great job.
Everyone was good, including the goaltender, Philip Gustafson, outstanding with 31 saves. Tonight, though, Tom, he takes a back seat to the Flower. I got to imagine this is going to be an incredibly emotional night for Marc-Andre Fleury.
Well, I think it will be. And somebody asked him, he got a big coming. He said, well, I'll be working for free tonight. So he actually has bought a lot of tickets and for this game. He probably has a couple of dump trucks full of people coming from Sorel, which is about an hour and 5 minutes from the heart of the city here in Montreal. But what a great opportunity for him. And what a great finish also for him. If he actually is going to quit, and we assume he is, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. But will he miss the game? Yes. Will we miss him? Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll talk more about Fleury here in a moment when we get to the starting goaltenders. But he's going to be taking on a Montreal Canadiens team, Tom, that has been surfacing around rock bottom in the years past. Not this year. It feels like that's a team that's on the rise.
Yeah, they really are. They are really starting to play well right now. They've got some young kids on that. It's the team of the future. And when you have a GM that comes in here and says, hey, we're going to change things around, he has done exactly that. So I give Marty St. Louis, the coach, a lot of credit here. Kent Hughes has done a good job as their GM here also, bringing in the players and building for the future. Not building for today, but building for the future. And I think you're seeing that with this club right now.
There you go. Tom Reed out there in Montreal. Quick break, and then when we continue, we'll get you the starting goaltenders and the lineup report. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hey, this is John Mayer, inviting you to join me for a very special night of live music and giving back. I am teaming up with an incredible group of artists for the Fire Aid Benefit Concert, including Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Green Day, and many more. Together, we will be performing and raising money to help rebuild communities devastated by the wildfires in California. The Fire Aid Benefit Concert is tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Listen to it on Life with John Mayer, Sirius XM 14, or listen at home with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL Play-by-Play on Sirius XM.
Bray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
And in net number 29, the best dad ever.
Wild trying to get out of the woods here, leading 3-2. Moss going to drive right circle, stop by Murray!
It's special this year. I mean, we obviously know what's on the line and know it's his last season. We'll see, but it's just one of those things where you want to play for this guy and you want to make it a memorable season.
Marcus Foligno on teammate Marc-Andre Fleury getting the start tonight in Montreal one last time. The starting goaltenders are presented by Progressive Insurance. And, Tom, we know Marc-Andre Fleury tonight goes in front of his hometown crowd there in Bell Center. I don't know about you. I don't know that there's been an easier person in all of sports, not just hockey, but all of sports to root for than Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, and you're right, Kevin. You just look at the people here, even though he's the enemy tonight because he's an opposite team, they love him. The signage here, and they've announced his name just a moment ago. You hear the cheering of the crowd in here as well. They knew exactly who he is, and they're hoping that their hometown favorites, the Montreal Canadiens, can beat him tonight. But he has other things in mind, and he always rises to the occasion when it's necessary.
Who goes for Montreal?
Well, it's not going to become worse, I can tell you that, Kevin. So when you look at what's going to be right now, this is a youngster coming in also from the Czech Republic, 6'4", 215 pounds, and he's been very good. Jakub Dobeš is the guy, and he's since he's come here, he has gone in 6 games. He's gone 5-0-1, 12 goals against in that stretch. He's been absolutely terrific. When he was down in Laval, the American Hockey League, in 14 games, he went 9-3-1 down there. But here's a kid that they look for the future, and I think they may have found the right guy.
There you go. Those are your starting goaltenders, an old guy against a young guy, Wild taking on the Montreal Canadiens. When we continue, we'll bring in Joe O'Donnell as the Wild look for a third consecutive win to open up this 5-game road trip. Can they get it done in Montreal, which should be an emotional night for one Marc-Andre Fleury. More from Montreal next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
America's best college football players have descended upon Mobile, Alabama, aiming to impress NFL scouts, coaches, and executives at the 2025 Reese's Senior Bowl.
That's a great read by Jackson Dart.
The path to the draft starts at the Reese's Senior Bowl as the American team.
Touchdown, Alabama. Jalen Milroe
Takes on the national team.
59-yard strike from Dylan Gabriel.
Coverage begins Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Before,
Jury, wrist fars in, shoots deflected, they score!
Lives here. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the National Hockey League and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
All systems go.
Tonight, the Wild move forward on their road trip, hoping to build upon their perfect start to the journey with a third straight win. But tonight isn't just another night in the NHL, as the Flower gets one last start against his hometown team.
And in net number 29, the best dad ever.
Drive right circle, stop by Fleury! And he hangs a 50. Glove save Fleury! Oh, a spectacular sliding stop by Marc-Andre Fleury!
It's always been special to me. Just I've always been a big Montreal fan growing up, and obviously just having a chance to play in front of my family, my friends, a lot of people have helped me fill my years to get where I am today, and have supported me, through the ups and downs, so pretty cool to do it one more time.
Marc-Andre Fleury in goal for the visiting Wild in what's sure to be an emotional night at the Bell Center.
Listen to the crowd. Very Fleury serenading the future Hall of Famer.
With more from Montreal, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
And thank you very much, Kevin Fonas. Good evening, State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to Bell Center here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where tonight, as pretty well known, should be an emotional and fun contest with a lot at stake for both teams as the Minnesota Wild continue their road trip by taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed with you. And TR, we're not going to bury the lead here. We all know what's at stake, not only playoff-wise for both these teams, but for Marc-Andre Fleury, a remarkable career. He says this will be it, which would mean this would be his final start here in this building, unless, of course, these two teams are meeting the Stanley Cup final. But let's just assume that this is it tonight in his home province. What does it mean to him?
I think it means a great deal. There's no question about it. He grew up loving the Montreal Canadiens. It's a 1 hour and 5 minute drive from here, the heart of the city of Montreal, and he's been beloved wherever he has been, whether it be as a youngster playing, whether it be in the juniors, whether it be wherever he has been. I mean, he's been a part of the fabric of the organization, and you can bet that the guys are really happy for him on both sides of that red line tonight. But Montreal wants to win this game. They want the 2 points. Minnesota wants to win this game for two reasons. Number one, for Marc-Andre Fleury. Number two, for the 2 points.
Marc-Andre Fleury has had recent success in this building with Minnesota here at Bell Center. He's 2-0-0, stopping 52 of 55 shots in a couple of wins. The Wild are 30-17-4. They have 64 points, third place in the Central Division. The Canadiens are 24-21-5. And they're a team that when we saw them in November, Tom, might have thought they were going to be at the bottom of the pack. They have really played well lately, put themselves in a spot to at least be sniffing around a wild card spot here halfway through the season.
Yeah, Joe, and the reason for that is because they're playing as a team. They got a lot of young kids here, but they also have some stability with the older guys. The veterans here are helping, and they're working together as a team. And I think that you have to give a lot of credit to the management staff here, the coaching staff, because they have brought this team together to do what they've done as of late. We'll get into their schedule here in a few minutes, but boy, it's been good certainly for the people here in Montreal.
Speaking about working as a team, this Minnesota Wild group, total team effort last night, contributions from all 4 lines, all 6 defensemen. It was a great win last night in Toronto, a 3-1 victory for Minnesota. Meanwhile, Montreal last played Tuesday when they lost here at home at Bell Center 4-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. Jakub Dobiš starts for Montreal. It's just his 7th career game. It's Marc-Andre Fleury, of course, to start for Minnesota. Puck drop next from Montreal. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better. Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care, like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Hey, Minnesota Wild fans, fuel up for game day with Just Bear, the official chicken of the Wild. At Just Bear Chicken, we believe the best meals start with the best ingredients. That is why all our chickens are raised with no antibiotics ever, so you can enjoy delicious and nutritious chicken with confidence. Find Just Bear Chicken in the fresh or frozen aisle at your local grocery store today. And let's go wild.
Hey, Wild fans. This is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Fleury out the challenge. Ovechkin in. Took a shot. Fleury, the glove save!
Wild Hockey starts now.
Flashing up his left arm and the Wild win!
Wild Hockey on your radio is presented by...
Eyes on me.
Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. Excel Energy. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see. Catalyst Supply Co. Boost your build. Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild.
Let's play hockey.
Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild. And by Acrosure, helping you take care of what you care about. Find out more at acrosure.com.
And now, live from the arena, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Back here at Bell Center in Montreal, Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Oh, Canada just wrapped up the French-Canadian version, of course. And, Tom, it was a great rendition with the video board showing Marc-Andre Fleury the tail few seconds. The crowd went berserk. He recognized him at the end. I didn't realize that he chewed gum. Tom, he was chewing gum.
Maybe he doesn't normally take his mind off of something, but that big picture came on. They just kept it on him, and you could see how nervous he was just standing there and listening to the crowd and so on. But and even the players I was watching on the Montreal side were tapping their sticks when that anthem came to an end, kind of as a tribute to Marc-Andre Fleury as well. Well loved by everybody around the league.
So the Wild and the Canadiens wrap up the season series. The Wild shut out the Canadiens in St. Paul on November the 14th. Phil Gustafson, the 19th save, whitewashing. And we'll see what Game 2, the two-game set, brings about here in late January. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial in the opening period. They are wearing their white jerseys here tonight in Montreal. The Canadiens from right to left in the first in their red uniforms. We're underway in Montreal as Fleury out the handle, rimmed in puck. Brock Faber chisels it free, and Joel Eriksson will whip this loose change out the center. Alexander Carrier, acquired from the Nashville Predators earlier this year, pops it back in. Again, it's Faber back to chase to it. This time he'll bank it off his end wall for Jake Middleton. Middleton at his own left circle. And now Faber back along for Middleton. Fanned on his pass for a moment. Second effort, got it into the Canadian zone. 35 seconds gone by in the first. Both teams change on the fly as Mike Matheson takes it for a skate deep in Montreal ice.
Yeah, I think both teams very cautious at the beginning here. They don't want to give up that first goal. And as you watch Minnesota, they're very, you can see the nervousness also even from the defense of Minnesota in that first couple of shifts.
The Wild this year, one of the top teams as far as scoring first goals, is Chisholm, a good healthy hit deep in his own zone. That kind of stung Kirby Dach a bit. As the Canadiens regroup at center, Arbor Xhekaj lasers it in. Xhekaj turning 24 years of age today, the big defenseman undrafted out of Hamilton, Ontario. Dach to Laine. Laine with a shot blocked by Chisholm to the corner. Canadiens pick it up with Alex Newhook. Newhook feeds the blue line. Takes a return pass. Swings it now to Laine. Back to Newhook on his backhand. He couldn't get a shot through, well defended by Chisholm. Xhekaj now at the left point. Chunked it along. Newhook trying to tap through the slot. Chisholm breaks it up, and Hartman lifts safely through center for Marcus Foligno, who peels back, looking for some help. He'll serve it all the way back to the captain, Jared Spurgeon.
Yeah, and this from Minnesota, be very careful at the beginning. They know the Montreal is going to go very hard at the onset of this hockey game.
Freddie Gaudreau races in right side. He, of course, hails from Bromont, Quebec. His long shot caught the glass. John Merrill pinches in. And the Wild look to establish a forecheck here as the Canadiens fire it ahead with Jaden Struble. Sending it up ice for a shot that was blocked. Nearly came free in the slot. A bouncing puck knocked away by Gaudreau. And Freddie Gaudreau will just chisel it through the neutral zone. Canadiens go D to D. We played just over 2 minutes in the first. Struble, just up from the AHL's Laval Rocket on a conditioning assignment. He'll go for a change as David Savard peels back deep behind the Montreal cage. In his fourth season with Montreal, the 34-year-old defenseman sweeps a pass to the right side. Yoel Armia carves along. Armia over the blue line into the Wild slot. Now dancing with it left side. Faber closed on him, tipping out the center ice. Jakub Lauko, a little chip and chase and numbers here for the Wild. Lauko centering, and it was just jabbed away by Xhekaj as he hustled back to keep it away from Devin Shore. Jake Evans now on a stretch pass. Flicks it in the left wing corner of the Wild zone. Armia wanted the center. That was batted around. Lauko finds Shore. Chipped along for Husnudinov. Murat Husnudinov coming off a goal last night. Spinning up at the left circle. Husnudinov curls again. Played it to the point for Chisholm, whose shot is in the glove of Dobish, and he'll hang on.
I'm sensing a little bit of nervous energy on both sides of the red line right now, Joe. Both these teams realize the importance of that first goal, getting it, and you see Dobish grabbing onto that one. The youngster really has played well in the minors in the American Hockey League at Laval, but also coming up here, he's had a great start since coming up in December the 20th. He's gone 5-0-1, giving up just 12 goals against in that stretch.
Trying to join some elite company as far as goalies beginning their NHL career with a 7-game point streak. Only 13 goalies ever have done that. The Wild trying to hand him a setback here. What's kind of crazy about Dobish in his brief NHL career, he's gone to overtime with a shootout 4 times in 6 starts. Chisholm plays a loose puck out the center. 3.5 minutes gone by now in the opening period for Montreal. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Minnesota's in Ottawa next. They will play the Senators on Saturday. Then it's off to Boston, where they'll sit for a couple days. And play the Bruins on Tuesday to wrap up this 5-game swing.
And the Bruins have really struggled this year compared to other years. They just don't seem to be clicking very well as a unit.
Dobish pounds one off his end wall for his defense. And now sitting back behind his own cage, the former Panthers draft pick, Mike Matheson. Matheson lugs it along, skies into open ice for the chase down of Doc. Doc churns it around the boards. At the left point, Jaden Struble. Down low for Doc, threw it in front, cut off by Faber. Laced off the glass for Ryan Hartman. He'll get it out to center ice and then feed Marco Rossi. Rossi without a shot in back-to-back games for just the second time this season. He'll flick one down low. Hartman threw it in front, nobody there. 3-on-2 for the Canadiens. Rossi trying to bust back. Line it. Hand it to the right side. A centering feed by Newhook. It's blocked. Rossi now looking to stretch it out for Foligno. And that's cut off by Doc. And here's Alex Newhook, the former Avalanche draft pick. And as he finds Line at the blue line, this play is offside.
Yeah, Rossi does a nice job of coming back to help also, and that's what you're looking for. That it looked like it was going to be an odd man rush, but he got back there in time. Well, the 25th season of Minnesota Wild hockey is fast approaching, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. Place your deposit for priority playoff access, exclusive pricing, and much more when you join the Forever Wild member family. Learn more at wild.com/season.
Dvorak and Goudreau on the draw. Struble picks it up for Montreal, rattles it in. John Merrill, a former Montreal Canadian, starts to break out around. Eventually Goudreau to Trenyon through his own slot. It bounced away from Merrill, but Zach Bogosian picks it up. And now Yakov Trenyon over the blue line. Scooped it to the left wing boards where Merrill charged it down low. Trenyon, who had just got dumped on the ice, gets back up, feeds it along. Goudreau high slot, trying to fire a chance, and Josh Anderson stepped in to keep that shot from ever getting through. So the Wild regroup and re-attack quickly. Goudreau to Trenyon. Spinning out of the right wing corner. Lasered it up top for John Merrill. Merrill waits a few moments. Sprung it to the high slot middle of the ice for Trenyon. Up near the blue line, able to find Bogosian. Hacked in front for Goudreau. Turning, shooting one. Blocker saved by Dobish. Dvorak to the rebound. He'll just clear safely through center, hoping for Brendan Gallagher. Taken away by the Wild, and they've got numbers again. Trenyon racing back in, and a shot tipped away by Xhekaj. So a couple good defensive plays by Big Arbor Xhekaj in the opening 6 minutes here. Keeping the Wild from scoring chances both times. Here he feeds Jake Evans. Evans with a chance that came off the end wall. And Fleury was scrambling around the Wild, dug it past in trouble. We think Fleury would like the first shot on goal at some point here. Tom, we're almost 6 minutes in.
Yeah, you're right. Right now the shots are 3-0 in favor of the Wild.
Evans scoops down low. Husnudinov back to pick it up. Twisted it around, hoping for Middleton. Canadians take over. Long drive. Stick save Fleury. On the wrister by Lane Hudson, the talented 20-year-old rookie. Devin Shore knocks it along. Jakub Lauko to it. Tried to pass. It's stolen by Evans, who cut past Boldy and burst ahead. Jake Evans makes a save play, rolling it down low. The Canadians change on the fly. Middleton. Off a pass from Spurgeon. Try to hack it along for Eriksson. Taken away. Spurgeon has it again to Middleton. And now onto the tape of Zuccarello. Right back to Spurgeon. One touch along to Middleton. Hope play catch with Eric Sinek. So Jake Middleton to try the right side now with Spurgeon. Good pass to the neutral zone as Boldy. Rumbling over the blue line. Flipped one down low. Eric Sinek trying to cut in front. His path, though, taken away there by Alexander Carrier. And the Wild have to just reset at center. Chisholm, D-to-D, Spurgeon. Onto the tape of Zuccarello. Pass intercepted by Nick Suzuki, the Canadiens captain. The Wild steal, and they will carry along now Eric Sinek. Left wing board, squeezed it down into the corner. Boldy, the first man there. Found Zuccarello. He rifled it rink wide. Spurgeon tried to stab it along, but that's broken up by Cole Caulfield and lifted back out the center. Now, a couple of shifts early in this game felt like Montreal had the edge. Last couple of shifts, Tom, it feels like Minnesota's starting to exert its will a little bit.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same type of thing we saw yesterday in Toronto. Minnesota in that first period really moved the puck well. They were skating well, and they certainly have done that. But of course, coming into this city, you know the Canadiens are going to be ready to go right from the drop of the puck. But Minnesota's been ready also.
Montreal 13-9-4 at home, 2-2-1 in the last 5. They do have a -10 goal differential on home ice this season. As the crowd all up in arms over something they thought should have been called and wasn't. Line A now.
Absolutely not. That was a good play.
Merrill to Foligno. He'll find Hartman, a 3-on-3 through center. Hand it back along to Foligno. Left wing boards into the Canadian zone. A little side angle wrister off the outside of the net. And Montreal plucks the loose change back out the center. Faber on a regroup to Hartman. Hartman able to step past the check, but it'll leak in where Dobish out to move it away from trouble.
Yeah, good play by Dobish. No, so he got the puck, put it right in the corner where it's out of danger.
Wild here, turn a puck over. It's an on-man rush. Line A in left side. Trying to feed one across the slot, and Middleton dove to block it. Now Dvorak whips it through the blue paint, and Middleton steals that puck. Jake Middleton feeds Brock Faber, and the Wild can settle down. Middleton got past his own blue line off a Faber pass, ran into some trouble, stays with it, and connects with Liam Ogren, who knocks it to the right wing boards for the chase down to Goudreau. Goudreau offered one in front. Easy stick save by Dobish. And the Canadiens now from right to left on your radio dial. Xhekaj through the slot. A wrister trapped and held by Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, that shot coming from quite a ways out also at the same time, and Fleury just able to grab onto it. And that'll get a chance to clean off the ice.
11:04 to go in the opening period for Montreal. No score. The Wild and the Canadiens. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Follow President Donald Trump's first 100 days in office from every angle on the SiriusXM app. From live breaking news channels to deep diving political podcasts and the latest White House coverage and analysis with the SiriusXM political channels, Patriot, POTUS, and Progress, and Megyn Kelly on Triumph. Just search First 100 Days in the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us. I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long. We enter the code MERRILL. That's MERRILL to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow.
Face off to the left of Fleury. Won by the Wild. Knocked out the center ice by Shore. Now Husnudinov, who got his second goal of the season last night in Toronto. It was the opening goal of the game. John Hines singing the fourth line's praises from last night's effort. As Lauko here with a shot. It's blocked. Lauko then dumped by Savard as the Canadiens have it. Suzuki feeds Hudson. The young defenseman hammered down by Usnadinov. And on a clean check by the young Russian.
It really was. Not a big guy either. Very small, but he certainly had his feet planted on that one.
What a year it has been for Hudson as Montreal fires this along. Faber to Middleton. He'll just chip it free, and Eric Sinek got it up. Not quite out. Suzuki didn't want to play it because he had illegally touched with a high stick, and the Wild will gobble it up and carry ahead with Brock Faber right side. Back to Hudson for just a moment. One heck of a young player, to say the least. Just 5'9", 162 pounds, Tom, but he's leading all rookies in points and 7th among all defensemen in assists.
Yeah, he's got 16 assists on the power play. No goals, but 16 assists. Wow.
Middleton in the neutral zone for the Wild off a clear out by the Canadiens. It is Faber D to D. Zuccarello plucks it in right wing side. Eric Sinek in on the forecheck. Boldy tried to strike one back to the point. And the Canadiens able to steer it out to center ice. The shots are 4-2 in favor of Minnesota. We're halfway through the opening period from Bell Center. And there is no score. Zuccarello carries alone. Charging into the Canadian zone. Left wing side. Deep into the zone with a side angle shot. Handled by Dobich. Boldy to the rebound. Flipped it up top for Merrill. To the right point, Bogosian. He'll wait a few moments and then just saucer it down behind the net. Where Zuccarello got their left wing corner. Back behind the cage for Eric Sinek. He have a 3-game point streak coming in. Partially tripped up. Eric Sinek back to his skates, maintained possession. Laid it to the point for Merrill. His shot rattled around. Eric Sinek found it. Moved it to Bogosian for a drive. That was blocked. Marcus Foligno, fresh off the Wild bench, picks up the loose change. Foligno around the net of Dobich. Now activating him from the point is John Merrill. He'll spin out of the left wing corner as the Wild continue to cycle. This time it's Foligno right wing hash mark. Sliding off the hip, bouncing one to the left point. Merrill just chopped it down low. Jack-eye there ahead of Zuccarello. He'll cut to his forehand, start out left side. Foligno lost his stick. Luckily wasn't called for a hooking penalty there. As Raphael Harvey Pinard plays it deep. It's his season debut for Montreal. After spending a bunch of time here at the NHL level a year ago. Rossi now in transition for the Wild. Dropped it off. A wrister by Foligno, tipped to the corner. Doc picks it up. Kirby Doc, 10 goals on the year. He'll play it deep into the Wild zone. It comes out off the end wall where Fleury just jumps on top of it.
You mentioned Kirby Doc also, one of those guys that has had injuries over the years. They're hoping he can stay healthy.
8:10 to go in the opening period. No score. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Scoreboard update.
10 games total tonight in the National Hockey League. You got a handful in progress, including in Boston, where the Winnipeg Jets have taken a 1-0 lead over the Bruins. Nemeshnikov, his 10th of the year, to get the Jets on the board. Capitals and Senators, they're scoreless midway through period number 1. Wild will be in Ottawa on Saturday evening. Tampa struck early against the Kings, Lightning with the 1-0 advantage thanks to Hagel's 21st of the year. And in Carolina, the Hurricanes and Blackhawks are scoreless. Lots of other action coming up throughout the night, but that's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, Joe, good skating game so far on both sides here. I think Minnesota had a little more control here. They've had 4 shots compared to 2 on the other side, but the faceoff is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone to the left of Marc-Andre Fleury. A little nervous before the game. I'm sure everyone is nervous in both dressing rooms, but Fleury especially, but he certainly has settled down.
Montreal, the second worst, tied for second worst first period differential in the NHL, coming in at a minus 15. So want to jump on this Canadiens team if you can in the opening period. Foligno, headmans, Rossi drives it in from center. Out with his goal stick comes Dobish. He'll smack it off the glass to his left. Hartman got a piece of it. Grabbing it now, Patrick Laine, who, unfortunately for the Canadiens, in his first year with them, after leaving Columbus in the offseason, was injured. Got hurt in that preseason game. The second preseason game cost him a bunch of time to start. But boy, once he came back, he was back to the Patrick Laine of old.
Yeah, he's really been good too. He's got 12 goals on the year, of which I believe it's going to be, 10 of those have been on the power play. So he's done a good job in that regard. He's really helping that area. He's got 11 points in the power play, 10 of those, as I said, being the final shot to put it in the net.
And those 12 goals in just 22 games on the season. Who drove for the Wild. Checked by Brendan Gallagher, who just hit 800 games played, all with Montreal. Carrier now played for John Hines in Nashville, and up ice pass Josh Anderson in with a shot. Gaudreau tipped it wide. Gallagher to the rebound. Smacked it in the corner for Josh Anderson. Now Christian Dvorak feeds the point. Carrier, a wrister, that went wide. Under 7 minutes to go in the opening period. Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Scoreless game here in Montreal. Minnesota's won 8 straight in the all-time season series. In this building, all-time, the Wild's record 9-5-2, including a win in game number 3 of the regular season a year ago. Gaudreau winds it in from center. Dobish out with his goal stick. Both teams getting a change. Canadiens onto the puck with Jaden Struble. Knocked it along for the captain, Suzuki. Out of London, Ontario, their team leader with 51 points. And now Juraj Slafkovsky to hack it ahead. It tips in. Fleury to watch carefully over his left shoulder as Merrill and Suzuki battle. And now Zach Bogosian from Minnesota. Center breakout pass. Husadinov shot out of a cannon. Racing into the Montreal zone. Little stop and go move. We're shoveling it down in the left wing corner for Lauko. Lauko just dumped by Xhekaj. Husadinov trying to race to it. Boy, he's got turbo packs in his skates today, Tom Reed.
I think he has.
Lauko, a long shot. That went just wide. Maybe some confidence off the goal last night for Husadinov?
Yeah, I think so. Just getting used to the level of play in the NHL also. It takes a while for some guys, a little bit longer for others, but the thing is that I think he's really picking up a pace right now. He's got some good speed, no question about that.
Devin Shore found the late help coming. Chisholm will play deep in the Canadian zone as the Wild finish a line change with Eric Sinek grabbing the puck. He was taken off puck possession, though, by Slafkovsky. Into the corner they go. Boldy reaching for it. Eric Sinek the same. And now Montreal comes up with it. Hudson twisting it free. Juraj Slafkovsky. Former number 1 overall pick from 2022. Slovakian born, just 20 years of age. He'll go off for a change now as Hudson sits back of his net. Lane Hudson was the Canadiens' second-round pick in 2022. Harvey Pinard now flies ahead. Drops it deep into the Wild zone. Has been the final 5 minutes now of the open. Boldy taps off to Chisholm. Flexed along for Eric Sinek. Through the neutral zone, Eric Sinek reconnecting with Chisholm. Up for Spurgeon, who tries to cut through the slot. He was taken off the puck. Jake Evans left it back for Harvey Pinard. And now Carrier headmans a bit. Harvey Pinard touches in. Again, Montreal looks to change on the fly. Fleury out with his goal stick to move it to Spurgeon. Quickly up along the right wing boards for Zuccarello. Lofted back for Spurgeon. Tapped over to the left side for Chisholm. Chisholm baits some pressure his way. Nearly lost it then. It kind of leaked out in front, and Fleury just jumps on top of it with 4:27 to go in the opening period. Timeout on the ice. Our final break of the opening frame. We're scoreless in Montreal. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy. Hey, Wild fans. Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild.
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Old Dutch potato chips.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners and Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, save my spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
Back tonight after the first and the second period tonight. Text your comments to 64686, and one random listener will win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Wild game or dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Good luck. Face off right now deep in the Minnesota zone. Shots have Minnesota in the lead, doubled up. They have 4. The Canadiens have 2. This building was built and became evident in 1996.
For you, Tom, is it one of the best atmospheres in the league?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's fun to play here. When I was a kid, Montreal was always my favorite team, and Mr. Beliveau was always my favorite player. And to have the luxury to play against him for a number of years afterwards was great.
Did you ever tell him that?
Oh, yes, I did. And I always called him Mr. Beliveau because he was my hero.
Really cool. Canadiens with a breakout pass. It's slowed down by the Wild. Forecheck and taken away. Foligno taps off Faber through the slot. Trying to get a shot through him. Montreal does an excellent job there blocking that bid. Rossi then hauled down, penalty call. Just about to say that Canadiens are 5th in the league in blocks per game. They've done a nice job of that here in the first, but then they take a call after the shot block, or a penalty.
Montreal number 77, 2-man tripping.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Also, 77, Kirby Dach also shot the puck after the whistle, which is a no-no, but there's no question on the penalty. He knew he had a penalty. I think it's more frustrating than anything else, but he will go to the penalty box. This first penalty of the Scoreboard hockey game comes at 16 minutes and 9 seconds of the first period.
Wild power play starting to heat up a bit. 1-for-1 last night in Toronto. Power play goal in 3 straight games. Asked John Hines about that this afternoon. He said they're attacking. They've got a shot mentality. And they're really just kind of taking what's there. You know, he talked about the face-off details on the goal last night. They win that draw. They did a good job kind of giving Spurgeon a lane. And he was able to convert to make it 2-0 a night ago in Toronto. Here the Canadiens win the face-off and send it down to the Wild power play from left to right on your radio dial to start ahead with Boldy over the blue line. Handed off to Eriksson. He was put in a tough spot. His pass broken up. Evans shorthanded. Spurgeon trying to catch him. Evans stopped, fell down, tried to muscle it in front, and couldn't get a shot through, and the Wild looked to counter. Rossi drops it back to Zuccarello over the offensive blue line, middle of the ice. Rolls it to the right side, Boldy. A few feet inside the stripe, into the right wing corner now, Zuccarello attacking front of the net, took a shot off the right pad of Dobish. The rebound pounded out the center.
But that's a good shot. It's right on net. Chance of it finding the back of the net was there, but unfortunately didn't make it.
Boldy turns one over, looking for some help left wing board. Xhekaj sends it down. Fleury out with his goal stick. Ran into a bit of trouble with big Josh Anderson looming, but the Wild come out of the woods here. 2:50 to go in the first. Power play halfway home. Rossi crisscrosses and hands the puck to Matt Boldy. He's always, in his brief career, had good numbers against Montreal. As here Minnesota is offside.
Yeah, you look at these two teams also. Minnesota had a pretty good record against them. They're 22-7-3 in the games they have played against each other. And here in Montreal, Minnesota's record 9-5-2 in that stretch since Minnesota came in the league back in the year 2000. Great city to come to. It was a little brisk today, though, walking.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that.
The 26 seconds or so I spent outside all day. It was cold. Did you go for a walk?
Yes, I did. I walked by one of those currency exchange places. The exchange rate is like 46 cents. Crazy. I bought 2.
Wild win the draw at center. Chisholm lofts it in. Hartman pressures. Canadiens can't clear because of the pressure of Hartman. Hartman, Ogren, Goudreau, Faber, and Chisholm. The dying seconds of the power play. Chisholm rolls it to Faber. A long shot blocker saved over. Made that look easy. Puck sent to the point. Faber has to bail out. Canadiens player dove to push the puck to center.
The guy fell.
And Josh Anderson then slammed his stick down thinking there should have been a call. Looked like he just dove to move it out to the neutral zone.
He did.
Montreal rifles it down. A little bit more than 2 minutes left in the first. Shots are 6-2 in favor of the Wild here. Late stages opening period, but no score. A dozen seconds to go on the Wild power play. Over the blue line, Ogren. He'll chop it down back of the cage. Evans paddles it around. Freddie Goudreau, left wing board. The power play winding down. Goudreau stops outside the left circle, attacks to the dot. Dances with the puck, rolls it along to Hartman. Hartman on the interchange with Goudreau. Took a shot. Dobich the kick save. Rebound sat there for a moment. Doc is out of the box. And the Canadiens get it through center ice. Doc trying to chisel it free for Evans. Evans will swoop it around the Wild net. We hit the final 90 seconds now of the period. Goudreau in a heavy collision against Doc. Lost his helmet. Goudreau goes for a change. Ogren got dumped from behind there. Trying to go off as well. Play continues. Canadiens launch it along. Suzuki flexes it in. Slavkovsky picks it up. Slavkovsky tried to fire it in front. Well defended by Spurgeon. Spurgeon then hammered Slavkovsky down to the ice along the glass left wing boards. The Wild can't come through the neutral zone cleanly, though. They give it up. Bursting in Suzuki, trying to speed past Merrill, and the poke check of John Merrill frees up the puck for Hustadino. Drops it back to Faber, through his own slot to the right side for Merrill, and back behind the net it goes for Brock Faber. 50 seconds left, opening period for Montreal. Here is Faber, bouncing one off the right wing wall, hoping for Hustadinov. This is icing on Minnesota.
Yeah, and this is an area, obviously, that Minnesota wants to improve on. That's in the face-offs in their own zone. We'll see what happens in this one. But right now, with just 42.5 seconds remaining, the shot's 7-2 in favor of Minnesota, and the face-off will come to the left of Marc-Andre Fleury. Probably his final visit here in this building as a member of the National Hockey League, but I'm sure he'll be back at some point. And certainly, the fans love to see him. You could hear the chants even before the game started for Fleury.
Off the face-off, Line A, try to muscle it around. It bounces up near the blue line, chiseled down low by Hudson. Hudson keeps the stripe again. A little spin move. Hustadinov not fooled, so it's spiked down below the goal line then by Hudson. Canadiens get to it. They center. Pinballed in front for a moment, and Fleury jumps on top of it.
We're seeing sticks flying all over the ice in this first period. We're seeing helmets coming out. We're seeing a little bit of everything. No goals as of yet. That was right in the blue paint area of Fleury. That stick came on top of the net.
It was John Merrill's stick that was lost in that scramble. And a couple of players, including a Montreal skater, kept it from just banging onto the back of the mask of Fleury as it was coming back down near the ice. Goudreau and Dvorak on the face-off. Under a half minute left in the first. Open this road trip, the Wild gave up just one first period shot in Chicago on Sunday at United Center. They've given up just 3 intermission.
Well played first period, I think, before the intermission there. Joe, and I think that Minnesota had a little bit of the edge in that one, certainly in the shot department as well. They had 8 compared to 3 on the other side, but they both go to the dressing room, have not given up a goal yet.
Tom, what do you think the approach will be now for both sides? That, you know, maybe some of the emotion, you're into the game now, right? So what's each team talking about when they get back into the dressing room?
Well, as you and I both know, when you get to that second period,
slows down a bit because the coaches come in, they have a little bit of an adjustment to the systems they want to use and so on. But I would expect it to slow down a little bit. But I like the way that Minnesota came out in that first period. I like the way they moved the puck. Going north. We talk about going up the ice with the puck all the time and getting opportunities.
We're going to have a player interview for you shortly from Bell Center, plus a Tom Reach hotline and a recap of the opening frame from Montreal. No score after 20. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
I'm Katie Nolan, and I have a new podcast called Casuals. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Casuals is a twice-a-week hang with me and my friends from across comedy, sports, and entertainment, where we talk about all the funny, weird, interesting stuff happening in and around the world of sports. So whether you're a die-hard fan or just vaguely sports curious, Casuals is the podcast for you. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora.
In the locker room.
Four Nations, Team Canada. Face-off associate GM, Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament. February.
Yeah, we're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The big names on NHL Network Radio.
Avalanche General Manager Chris McFarland. What went in to maybe change that duo in goal?
You know, with the work of our scout, you know, Wedgwood's experience, he was veteran guy, you know, he's been through the grind. We were very bullish on McKenzie, and when the opportunity came to add him, we just felt it was the right move for us, you know, long term.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind the line and walks in. Get it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL.
Big thing for him. And one more reason to win.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I kind of had tears in my eyes also just watching him down there and being received by the fans here in Montreal. I want to go back to the game last night, Jakob, because you guys played such a wonderful game. Moving the puck, going forward. We talk about the puck going north. All the time you guys did that, had a huge win in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, it was a, you know, we had to change, change a little bit because we and pretty straightforward game the games before, and just wanted to go to. We just wanted to simplify, be hard, compete harder, and I think we're doing a good job past couple games.
Do you see a big difference between teams and the systems they employ?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, like we knew yesterday we knew about their top players. This is more like 4-line team, fast, young. So there's a difference between
hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, save my spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience. The official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
Texas Spirit started with Tito's handmade vodka. Back in the 90s, we had a dream as big as our home state. With grit, determination, and heart, we broke ground on the first legal distillery in Texas. Today, at the center of the craft spirits movement, we're still Texas made and Texan owned. Our copper caps line the shelves, and we fill glasses with the smoothest juice around. Remember, just because it looks like vodka doesn't mean it tastes like Tito's. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
To arena that's typically sold out.
His name is Marc-Andre Fleury, and that's one of the reasons, Kevin. He's going to have over 100 people here, I understand, that are waiting to see him after the game. Now, I don't know they're all friends or family of his, but I know that there's that many people, so they have extra security on board here to make sure he's going to be well taken care of. But, when you have a game like this, tickets are very hard to get. But these buildings hold, over 20,000. So there's always a way to finagle some tickets someplace. Maybe double up on the seat. Who knows? Whatever they're going to do. But this is a great moment for these fans. This is something they're going to remember.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think we're both in the same boat. I still don't buy into the fact. I know that he's saying that he's set his mind on it. He's going to retire after this season. Can't imagine going through this again, but the way he's played, I don't see it happening. That said, Chuck in Montgomery wants to know, Tom, what do you think Marc-Andre Fleury does once he finally does retire and hang up those skates?
Well, I know he likes the Twin Cities, and there's a chance he may be there. We don't know that, but he said he's going to, he's going to step away from the game, and that's one thing. Even when I had to leave, Kevin, the team announced it, but they forgot to tell me, and so it made it a little more difficult, I guess, in that situation. But that was just me. But that's only a joke. You know that. But I
do know that
he's one of those guys. It's just everyone gravitates towards him. Remember when they won the 4 Cups, Kevin, how good they were, but they never changed the old guard. And so when they got time to make some changes, they still had this old guard, but nobody wanted them from the other team. So it made it very difficult. They went in the tank for a long, long time. But I would think that Gus will be one of the guys. I think Gus has really stepped up here again. He had a little bit of a lull there for a while, but I think his game settled. The question is, can Walsh come in here and be that guy? That we don't know.
That's a good question. I wanted to work this into the broadcast. Last night ran out of time every time we chatted, so I've got a little extra time here. John Gilbert announced he passed away yesterday, I believe at the age of 82. A face that I saw around the rink all the time on many different occasions. Didn't know him as well as you. Tell me what you knew about John Gilbert and why he'll be missed.
He had a passion for hockey. He really did at all levels. I mean, he wanted to win, but he wanted the Americans to have that chance to play. I don't think he was happy that they had the Canadians and then the Europeans coming into the fold. And I remember he wrote an article one time about the fact that he thought that Minnesota could house an entire team with just Minnesota players playing for the North Stars back in early 70s. And I said, John, I think you have to bring in some people from the outside. I'm not saying Minnesota doesn't have great players, but what I'm saying is that you really need people from the other areas to come in here as well. You need a mix. It's similar to having a car. You can't have the chassis from a Mercedes and the engine from the Rolls Royce and something from another part from another car. They don't fit together. You have to make sure that your fit with your team is going to be the right team, whether it be all Minnesotans or whether it be people from the outside. I think that, but he was certainly an active guy when it came to loving the game of hockey. He certainly did a lot for it, and gave a lot of people a lot of information over the years.
No doubt. And financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He scored!
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners and Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, save my spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Hey, Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild.
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Passing along energy-saving tips to your kids can make a big difference today and for tomorrow. Teach them to turn lights off when they leave the room, or why it's important to adjust a thermostat, even by a degree or two. Let your children be in charge and help them understand the value of energy conservation. Learning these simple yet important behaviors at a young age will help them take these energy-saving habits into adulthood. Visit xlenergy.com/ways to save for more ways your family can help conserve energy in your home.
Period from Bell Center in Montreal. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. No score as we begin period 2. Shots 8-3 in favor of Minnesota. Tom, what'd you like most about the Wild's approach in the first period?
I thought they were very guarded at the beginning. I thought that's the way to play. You know, you're going against a team that wants to win, wants to keep on winning. They know, and you know that they want to take Fleury out of the game quickly if they possibly could. That's not going to happen. I thought Minnesota did a good job there. They moved the puck and kind of settled in, and as a result, had the edge in the shots, but unfortunately, no goals yet in this game.
Canadiens in a 3-game winless skid coming in. Wild have won back-to-back. Montreal giving up 4 goals in each of the last 3 games. Slavkovsky a side-angle try right off the hop in the second. That went wide. Carrier holds in right point, shoveled it down low. Middleton got a chunk of it. Montreal's on it. Suzuki to the point. Matheson to Carrier. Cross-ice dish, nobody home. Opening half minute of the second. Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Canadiens skating from left to right. Saw Freddie Shabbat just moments ago, the Wild goaltending coach, who did have a cup of coffee with the Canadiens in his playing career. He said, what's the key to trying to beat Jakub Dobish, the youngster? And he said he's a big guy, he plays simple, low blocker, high blocker, some areas there they're going to try to target. But he said they've got to shoot when there's traffic in front. Like most young goalies fighting through traffic is going to be a challenge for Dobish.
Yeah, and Freddie's done a nice job with the goaltending this year. The last few years, I should say. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, you look for different traits of the goaltenders, whether they like to keep their blocker up high or low and making sure you find those open areas.
Chisholm broke up a pass, but Montreal was offside anyway. And Tom, we think so often goalie coach, right? He's working with Fleury, Gustafsson, Ballstead, the minor league guys, but he's got to do the scouting report on who the other team's starting too.
Well, that's exactly right, but he also has to do a scouting report of what's happening with the team. I mean, he's engaged not just in goaltending. I mean, they're involved in every facet of the game. more so with goaltending for him because he was a goalie and understands it more so than us who never had played that position.
Who was the first goalie coach that you came across? Because it wasn't always a thing, right?
No, it was not. No, we did not. We had one coach, and that coach coached everything. One coach, one trainer, one athletic therapist. That was it.
Fleury stops a little jam playing tight down to his right. Canadians take the puck free. Hudson stop and start, and a long wrister is swallowed up by Fleury. There's that shiftiness of Lane Hudson.
You know, Joe, I go back to 1977 when I was still playing with the North Stars, and the Canadians that year lost 8 games the entire season. They had a season that went 60, 8, and 12, 132 points. They scored 387 goals and gave up 171.
Wow. They were winning every game by multiple goals, basically.
Yeah, they won 6 Stanleys in the 70s, including 4 in a row from 1976 to 79. I mean, they were a team to be reckoned with them. Jacques Lemaire was part of that, of course, and Doug Risebrown.
Hudson off the one draws. Line got clipped. He gets up slowly. Hudson just shook it down deep in the wild zone. Will stay with it again and power it behind the net of Fleury. Merrill grabs it. Backhanded one along the right wing wall. It's grabbed by Lauco and moved rink wide for Bogosian. Trying to stretch it out to Shore. Shore tried to split the D. Jacki took it away. Nearly turned it over. This ricocheting puck will be grabbed by Montreal and carried ahead by Newhook, and he was hit hard by Lauco and taken off the puck at center. Kustadinov over the blue line. Flexed it to the right side. Devin Shore to the back post. And Lauco at the outside of the goalpost. Driving to the right of the youngster Dobish.
Boy, I really like the way Lauco has played also. He is really picking up his pace. He loves the game also, which is a big plus.
Maybe the best scoring chance for either side. 2:20 now gone by in the second. Struble headmans. Evans whistles it in from center. Bogosian to his right. Just deflected that puck below his goal line. Merrill goes right back to Bogosian. Just frisbeeing it along for Liam Ogren. Ogren trying to charge ahead. Leaned on, taking off the puck. It comes back to Bogosian just inside his own blue line. Zach Bogosian right wing boards. Headman, Trenyon tipped along. That hit the linesman. Kick loose end for Ogren, who carries deep into the Canadian zone. Harvey Pinard pinned him up for a moment. 2 bodies from each team trying to dig it loose. Montreal, in addition to being a very good shot blocking team, also one of the more physical teams, hits per game, 7th best in the NHL. Behind his own net now, Jaden Struble. Hails from Cumberland, Rhode Island. His up ice pass deflects. No ice. Fleury comes out. Motored it free for Faber. Faber spinning away from pressure. Knocked it loose. Trenyon tried to nudge it free. It was a little behind Ogren. Charging to it, Middleton. Able to just poke it through center. Loose puck in the neutral ice area. The Canadians churn it to the left wing side. Caulfield dancing with it. Center for Slavkovsky, and he fanned on his one-timer. Trenyon picks up the loose puck. Carries ahead. Loaded it the way of Ogren. A shot tipped wide. Boudreau to try and keep the Wild in business. He does. Threw it in front. Ogren trying to dance in front. Couldn't get a shot through. He comes back to Ogren, and he scores! Liam Ogren! With his second career NHL goal, his first this season, and the Wild draw first blood in the second period. They're in front of the Canadiens, 1-0.
Yeah, huge goal for Minnesota, and certainly for Ogren also. Did a great job of just staying the course with it. It looked like he was going to lose it momentarily, but he stayed there. The puck came back to him. Nice little move there, and gets it on the forehand and puts it away. And Ogren gives Minnesota the first goal of this hockey game. And of course, he had his birthday a couple days ago, which was a nice birthday present to have. But that goal coming at 3 minutes and 43 seconds of period number 1.
Boy, he really picked the far corner, high blocker. Dobishin lost his goal stick, so he wasn't able to try and poke it away from Ogren, who was about 1.5 feet outside the goal crease, and it was a bit of a broken play. But on the reset, Ogren picked it up, picked his head up, and went right underneath the bar. We talked about the depth scoring, the importance of that for Minnesota. They got a 4th-line goal last night from Kustadinov to open the scoring. The rookie Ogren opens the scoring tonight in Montreal.
Yeah, huge goal for him also, getting his first of the season. It takes some of the pressure off.
A long shot by Eriksson Ek as we're back to live action, handled by Dobish. Wild came in, tied for the second most time scoring first in the NHL. Their victories when scoring first, 21 of them. Second best in the circuit as well. Matheson left point. feeds Carrier, a long chance, blockered away by Fleury, and a fight off the rebound as well with his right pad. Going down hard back of the net. And with Boldy as the Canadiens stay with it. Spurgeon got it free from Caulfield for a moment. And now Spurgeon through his own slot is pushing the puck away from trouble. At the right point, Carrier saltered it down low. Spurgeon flipping it away from Caulfield. And Matt Boldy starts out through center. Boldy over the blue line. Has a man going in front of the net, Eriksson elected to find Zuccarello down low. Carves it from back of the cage and then try to center. It tips, and Bogosian has to grab it out in the neutral zone. Bogosian plays it to Zuccarello. Both teams getting a change. Almost 5 minutes gone by in the second. Zuccarello, headman, looking for Rossi. Nothing there. The Canadiens counter. Over the blue line, Christian Dvorak, the former Coyotes draft pick. His wrister was blocked. Dvorak hustles to it now, left wing corner. Fed it up top. Xhekaj laid it along a drive by Hudson. Caught the glass, missed by a mile there. Gallagher to lose puck. Brendan Gallagher feeds Lane Hudson. Just smacked it down low. Dvorak scooped it through the slot. Nobody there. Canadiens are back on it with Hudson. Twisting it down over the right shoulder of Fleury. Josh Anderson met by Zach Bogosian. Anderson pushed it free. It comes to the point. Hudson controls the blue line. Lane Hudson angled it back to Dvorak. A long shot blocked in front by Bogosian. Loose puck grab by Anderson. Canadiens buzzing here, trying to get it right back. Anderson, a long shot blocked by Merrill, who has not gotten up yet. The Wild get it out the center. They've got a 2-on-1. It's Foligno with Rossi coming late. Foligno jammed on the brakes. Open in front. Rossi took a shot. He scores! Marco Rossi, short side, uncontested in front, and the Wild, just like that, have a 2-0 lead.
What a play by Foligno, also on the far side. He has been getting points the last few games here, and so has Rossi. Both these guys working together. Foligno had the puck on the far side on the right wall going north, and all of a sudden he spotted Rossi coming in late, put the puck right on the stick, and Rossi comes in, make no mistake about that one. He puts it away. And for Marco Rossi, that is a huge goal for him and his hockey club, and that is goal number 18, which gives Minnesota that 2-0 lead in this hockey game. It coming at 5 minutes and 47 seconds of period number 2.
Well, one thing that John Hines said about this Canadiens team, Tom, is that they can be a little unpredictable, both good and bad. So they're hard to defend, but if you check them well, because of their activity and their youth, sometimes they'll get out of position.
Well, that certainly was the case there, but Minnesota did a good job of just moving the puck and being very patient also. When you get the puck, to make sure you're going to do something good with it, and Rossi certainly did. He has been really hot on fire for Minnesota right now also, as Foligno has been as well.
The second goal against the Canadiens in the 2-game season series. He's already got a career high in points, adding to that now with 45 on the year. Montreal over the blue line, opening the slot, Doc with a wrister, missed it wide. Line A to the Carroll. Watched carefully by Faber. Patrick Line swooped it down low for Newhook. Lauko bothers him. The shots are 13-7 Minnesota. They've gotten 2 here in period 2 to take a 2-0 lead at Bell Center. As the loose puck soared along by the Wild, and back to grab it, David Savard. Savard finds Newhook. Over the blue line, Alex Newhook trying to feed it down low. Goudreau blocked it. Middleton weaves it to the right side. Trenyon goes right back to Jake Middleton, who cut past the check but gave up puck possession. Evans had his feed stolen on the backside, pressure by Trenyon. He'll lay it back to Faber, tossed along right wing boards for a tip in by Ogren. Dobish out with his goal stick. Smacked it around Xhekaj. Unable to tip it past Ogren's forecheck pressure. And now it's Freddie Goudreau, picked up a helper moments ago. He'll feed the point for Chisholm. Right back to Goudreau, a long shot missiled wide. And Montreal onto it. Xhekaj headmanning. Armia tips out the center. Spurgeon quickly to Chisholm. And he'll bounce it off the left wing boards. Trenyon only able to get a piece of it. And the Canadiens counter. Jake Evans chops it in. Chisholm hustles to it. Finds Trenyon. He'll go to the weak side where Spurgeon goes back across the green. Liam Ogren left wing wall. Carries into the Canadian zone. Ogren forced it around. Eriksson picks it up. Right wing corner. Wild in the midst of a change here. Eriksson hounded. Taken off the puck. And then Trenyon bumped into Suzuki, who was able to get it out to center ice for the home side. Xhekaj resets. Both teams have just finished the change. 8 minutes played in period 2. Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Suzuki from the neutral zone. sent it in. Caulfield was tangled up with Boldy. Those two know each other extremely well, of course. And now Caulfield looks to have a bit of an equipment issue. He just fell down again. Gets back to his skates. Centered here for Slavkovsky, who left it off. Toe drag move by Suzuki. He lost it down low. Well, maybe Caulfield had a skate blade issue, Tom. He was on the ice twice in a matter of seconds. Very shifty player. John Hines talked about him in November when these two teams got together. Of course, Caulfield played for John Hines last year in the World Championships, and see him at the Four Nations face-off as well. He's got 25 goals on the year. It is Cole Caulfield. Back is John Merrill. He'll grab a rimmed-in puck. Winning a battle, Merrill. Stashed it along for Boldy. Left wing side. Picks his head up. Lasered one ahead. It tips in. No icing. Rossi after it, the first man for either team. Trying to get away from the pressure of Mike Matheson. Those two leaning on each other. Matheson used his glove to poke it free. Savard headmans. And Josh Anderson, the former Columbus Blue Jacket, bangs it in from center. 10:50 to go. Period 2. Wild in front 2-0 in Montreal. A breakout pass for Merrill. He'll find Foligno. Cuts back inside his own blue line for a moment. Stops, spins. Middle of the ice, Foligno just handed it off. Wild player Hartman down in the heap, well away from the puck as he got tied up with Savard. Hartman a bit hobbled, doubled over, in fact, as he goes to the Wild bench. No penalty call, and icing now on Minnesota. Hartman's stick is way back in the Canadian zone, and he's in a world of hurt.
Yeah, he is right now. Just watch him sitting on the bench over there, too. He's facing the back of the bench. He's not safe facing the ice, so as soon as he got hit, Savard got tangled with him. Still bent over on the bench also. Right there, plus the Minnesota looking on to see if he's okay. Face-off is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone.
Sorry, Tom. Brian Grogreski, a first-year athletic trainer with the Wild, is taking a look at Ryan Hartman. Play resumes here. Rossi blocks a shot off the draw as Hudson couldn't get it through. It is Newhook now, bothered by Bogosian all the way up outside the circle to the right of Fleury. Canadians cycle it around. Boy, every time there's any form of contact, this crowd's looking for a call. They haven't gotten one yet as the puck ends up in the netting, and we've got a timeout on the ice. 10:10 to go in the second period. The Wild with a 2-0 lead in Montreal. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You will win with money. You will become wealthy if you will do these 5 things over and over again.
Dave Ramsey, America's trusted voice on money, is on Sirius XM Triumph.
Get out of debt. When you don't have any payments, you know what you've got? Money.
Call in for advice that's helped millions crush debt, build wealth, and achieve peace of mind.
Financial freedom is closer than you might think.
The Dave Ramsey Show. Weekdays starting at 6 a.m. East on Sirius XM Triumph 111.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
There's
Well, I will tell you how much is left in the second period, except they took everything down. There's no numbers on the ribbons or on the big board, but eventually we'll have it, and we'll let you know what that is. But right now, more importantly, Minnesota has a 2-0 lead in this hockey game. 2 goals. Hogan gets his 11th. Rossi gets his 18th. Lauko and Foligno and Hartman all will pick up an assist as well. 9:50 to go here in the second.
We're back to live action. Zuccarello right side. Charged it along. Boldy battles for it. Knocked it out to center ice. Canadians regroup. Matheson sends it back in. Favor to the right of Fleury. Dealt with by Suzuki. Try to stab it free. A tie up back of the cage. Eriksson lifted a man's stick, came up with the puck, floated along, got it out to center. Zuccarello just couldn't handle it cleanly. So Montreal goes D to D. Carrier to Matheson. Matheson just shy of the red line, fires it in. Fleury out to stop it. And now Faber, a right-wing breakout pass. Eriksson hounded by the pinch in of Matheson. He'll spin it all the way to the right point, where Carrier offers it back behind the Wild net again. This time it's Zuccarello to get there for the Wild. Just turn and angle it along. Boldy picks it up quickly along for Eriksson. Eriksson tried to go back to Boldy, swatting at it. The Canadiens are there first. Kirby Doc turned it over at center. Zuccarello to Boldy onside. A couple of players joining the rush here late. Boldy a right circle wrist. Dobish the kick save. Chisholm pinches in to get to the rebound. Declan Chisholm up top for Zuccarello, covering at the point. Now Spurgeon. Spurgeon with a shot. That tips high and ends up off the end glass. Zuccarello keeps it in. Into the corner, Eriksson poked away for a moment. Chisholm pumps it back down into the left wing corner of Montreal ice. Zuccarello avoided a hit, absorbed it kind of nicely. Found a man coming in the back post. Rebound bit out in front. Off the one-timer from Spurgeon that was stopped by Dobish. Now Eriksson with a wrister, and that caught the glass. Zuccarello to the point. Spurgeon. Jared Spurgeon to Matt Zuccarello. Back to the captain. Spurgeon taps to the point, and Chisholm couldn't really handle it. He was forced out to center. Good shift, though, by the Wild, Tom.
Yeah, it really was. Good passing all the way, all the way around. Also, good tape to tape.
Spurgeon, of course, a 3-game point streak coming in, became the first Wild defenseman in team history to reach 400 points with Minnesota a night ago. He also picked up last night his 23rd career game-winning goal, tied with Eric Staal, 5th most all-time in franchise history. Shore wrapped up by a stickless Canadiens player at center. That was Doc. Wild stay with it. Husnadinov, nifty spin move, shook free, rolled it down low, and Shore tried to cut his way out through the goal mouth. He lost the puck. Here is Savard for Montreal off the left wing boards, too far for Laine. Bogosian a quick up. Husnadinov comes right back in, right circle, a wrister, missiled it high and wide. Merrill jabs it down low. Struble lost it to Husnadinov for a moment. Jake Evans steps to it for Montreal. He'll scale it ahead. It's going to die short of icing as both teams try to get some fresh bodies out. Zach Bogosian with a left wing pass from Merrill. Takes a few strides, hits the center stripe, and lays it in. The Wild doubling up the Canadiens in shots, 14-7 right now. They've got a 2-0 lead with 7:20 left in period 2. Montreal clears it ahead. Anderson's going to win the foot race. Middleton closing. Anderson powered in front. Diving poke check by Fleury. And they go the other way as Trenyon starts ahead. Yakov Trenyon.
Yeah, Fleury lost a glove and also a stick on that one, but got it back in a hurry.
Here's Xhekaj now feeding it ahead. Josh Anderson over the blue line. Skips it in. Gallagher and Faber come together back of the cage. Good support again by the Wild, Tom, on another defensive zone play, and they get it out to center ice again.
Yeah, they've done a great job both on the offense and the defense are part of the game.
Again, John Hines has talked about it. This team knows what its game looks like. Here's a chance left side, and a chance hit the iron. And Fleury with his blocker, as he so often does, taps that post to his right a few times, and Slavkovsky had a good look off the rush. Caulfield to the loose puck. Faber tries to slow him down. It's pushed to the right point, Xhekaj. Crowd trying to urge on the Canadiens. They're down 2-0 as the Wild with a couple of quick second period tallies here to break a scoreless tie. Freddie Gaudreau from center ice serves it in, and Minnesota changes it on the fly.
Yeah, Freddie with great hands once again. Gets that puck, gets it down the ice. He goes right to the bench.
Montreal laces it along, icing on the home team with 6:03 to go in the second.
And that will bring the faceoff back deep in the Montreal zone. Well, take your family outing to the next level with the Mall of America Family Pack. This package includes a game ticket, a 6-point pass to Nickelodeon Universe, and much more. Make family fun a top priority at wow.com/MOA. Faceoff deep in the in the Canadian zone.
Minnesota, when playing in the second of a back-to-back this year, 3-4-1. The most recent of those wins coming Sunday in Chicago. As the Canadiens win the faceoff, they work it in. Try to finish a line change. Spurgeon bounced it up, not out. Armia keeps in the left circle shot blocked by Spurgeon. It goes to the left of Fleury, where Foligno grabs it, tries to pin it up along the boards for a moment. Support coming. But Montreal digs it free. Harvey Pinard back down below the goal line. Armia Out of Pori, Finland, bumped a couple of times by Chisholm. Now Ryan Hartman with a counter hit on Harvey Pinard, and the Wild come ahead at 2-on-2. Rossi over the blue line, twisting and handing it off. Foligno Arister, blockered away by the youngster in net for the Canadiens tonight. And Jakub Dobiš. Hartman, a long right point shot. That's blocked. Canadians try to quickly attack with Jake Evans. Hartman's back hounding him. Evans trying to fight free. Spun up at the bottom of the left circle. Waits a few moments. Then handed it free to Matheson to activate. Mike Matheson around the net. A great poke check by Merrill. Stripped him of the puck. And at least kept the Wild away from some trouble there.
Yeah, once again, stick on the ice. Gets that puck and gets it out of the trouble. As you mentioned, Joe. Now Minnesota just really controlling things in this game.
Merrill back behind his own net, content to wait as both teams change again. Less than 5 minutes to go in the second period. It's Zach Bogosian on a right side breakout. He'll skate ahead, feeding it to Zuccarello. Cut past the check, lifted up ice, stolen by Doc. Doc finds some help with Carrier. Offensive-minded blue liner, tosses it in. He's bumped by Zuccarello. Who jabbed that puck free for the chase down of Boldy. His pass ricocheted to the Wild slot, but Zuccarello clears it safely ahead. Matheson on a regroup in the neutral zone. Hits the red line, powers it in. Merrill to his left, swatting at it. Paid for that as Line took a run at him, but the Wild come ahead with numbers. Boldy. Rink-wide pass, Zuccarello. Just chunked it down low as Minnesota trying to change up its defense. Zuccarello didn't like what he saw there, just made the save play. Canadiens force it out the center, where Middleton, fresh off the Wild bench, scoops it back ahead. A bouncer that comes in. Dobiš with his goal stick. Chunks it to his right. It is roll it back, and Lane Hudson controls now for Montreal.
And one thing Minnesota's not wanting to do is just sit back. They'll make sure they get the offense going when they get the opportunity to get the puck on the opposite end.
Hudson carried along, fired it in from the offensive blue line, but the Canadiens were in early. They are offside, and we've got a timeout here from Bell Center. Under 4 minutes left in the second period, and the Wild a 2-0 lead on the road. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Scoreboard update.
In Boston, the Jets lead the Bruins 2-1 midway through the second. Scheifele with his 30th of the year, the go-ahead goal for the Jets. Marchand with his 19th for Boston. Capitals and Senators, they're knotted at a goal apiece midway through period number 2. In Tampa, the Kings and Lightning are tied at 1. In Carolina, the Hurricanes have a 3-1 lead over the Blackhawks. First home game for Mikko Rantanen with his new team. Rantanen scores his 26th of the year. 12:18 left to go in the second period. The other game in progress, Flyers and Islanders scoreless after 1. Back to Joe and Tom.
Well, on February the 8th, the Wild are hosting their Black History Celebration Ticket Pack sponsored by Tria. This includes your game ticket to watch the Wild take on the Islanders, an exclusive wearable item, and a donation to be made to Change Minnesota. Purchase today at wild.com/pack.
Center ice face-off coming up. Rustadinov and Dvorak on it. Christian Dvorak won 11 of 15 draws for the Canadiens Tuesday. They ultimately fell 4-1 to Winnipeg, giving up 4 unanswered after taking a 1-0 lead in that hockey game.
You know, once again, Joe, face-offs are hurting them. Not they're hurting us in the game because they got the lead, but they've only won 45% of the draws again.
Last night in Toronto, Minnesota, just 39% in the face-off circle. Brendan Gallagher pushes one along. Anderson sends it in. Faber took a look over both shoulders, grabs his puck right wing corner. We'll pass to Hustadinov. Got it up, not quite out. Canadians swoop it down low. Fleury sets it up on a tee, and Middleton's got some real estate if he wants it. Montreal finishing a change. So Jake Middleton muscles it along. Faber headmans deflected in by Hustadino. Out with his goal stick, Dobish. Hudson cleared it safely ahead. Slavkovsky batted out of midair. Made a great play then to Suzuki, who had a full head of steam. Left wing side it comes. Gallagher dropped the back. A shot blocked by Chisholm. Big shot block there. Molino left wing boards just cruises it ahead.
Yeah, Jack, I had a lot of speed going in there too. He's a big body, gets those shot away in a hurry, but Minnesota able to block that one.
6'4", 240 pounds, Tom.
He's the first and only player to have his last name begin with the letter X.
Spurgeon blew a tire at the offensive blue line. That killed that Minnesota rush. Chisholm now fights at a bouncing puck. Slavkovsky's got it. Hounded by a couple of white jerseys. Hartman or Rossi batting it out of midair and trying to chase to it. Rossi battles against Struble. Struble knuckled it along. Suzuki taps off. Caulfield rims it in. Middleton takes it from his netminder Fleury. Cuts around the wild net right side. Here's Jake Middleton pushing it middle of the ice for Hartman on a good pass. It allows Hartman to escape through the slot. Dangled left side with a backhander. And that miss.
Password? Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's
trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us. And I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scored the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
From From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada Face-Off Associate GM, Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Yeah, we're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Good first two periods for the Wild in Montreal. They lead the Canadiens 2-rip. We'll get you Tom Reed with Marcus Foligno here in a matter of moments, followed by part two of Tom Reed's hotline. You got something you want to say to the big white-haired Canadian? This is your opportunity. Text in your thoughts, questions, whatever it might be, to 64686. The reward may be a pair of tickets to an upcoming Minnesota Wild game. As for tonight in Montreal, the Wild putting some offense on the board in the second period. It was 0-0 after one period of play when the Wild outshot the Canadiens 8-3. In the second, though, they finally get one past the young netminder for the Montreal Canadiens, and it's another young guy for the Wild that does the damage.
To try and keep the Wild in business. He does. Threw it in front. Ogren trying to dance in front. Couldn't get a shot through. He comes back to Ogren, and he scores! Liam Ogren! With his second career NHL goal, his first this season, the Wild draw first blood in the second period. They're in front of the Canadiens, 1-0.
Ogren throws the puck to the crease. Dobish puts it out there, but he puts it right to Ogren, and he's all alone by himself. Wrists it to the far corner over the stick hand of Dobish. 3:43 in. The Wild are up 1-0. 2 minutes and 4 seconds later, another young guy does it again.
Wild getting out the center. They've got a 2-on-1. Hits Foligno with Rossi coming late. Foligno jammed on the brakes. Open in front. Rossi took a shot. He scores! Marco Rossi, short side, uncontested in front, and the Wild, just like that, have a 2-0 lead.
Canadiens fail to keep it in. The Wild end squirts past the blue line, gets all the way out to center ice, and that's where Marcus Foligno and Marco Rossi deliver on a 2-on-1. The Foligno sends it over to Rossi. He gets it, puts it back behind the goaltender. 2 minutes and 4 seconds after the Wild make it one rip, Rossi's 18th of the year makes it 2-0, and that's where we sit after 40 minutes of play. Ogren and Rossi are the goal scorers, but Foligno's got another point to extend his point streak to 4 games. He's with Tom Reed now.
Well, then, two periods, Minnesota has 2-0 lead right now over the Montreal Canadiens. Downstairs right now is a guy that's been pretty hot as of late with that puck. Also, fourth game now, you got, 3 goals and a couple of assists, Marcus. And I know that it's always fun to get the goals. It's always fun, no question about it. But at the same time, the team is much more important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great shot by Marco there and just getting up in the rush. I think our D-zone was great. You know, we just, weathered the storm and some big blocks and, obviously got a little bit of a rim that bounced over stick and, we made them pay on a good play. So it was a great shot by Marco, and it's just what we need. And when you get pushed up in the lineup, you need to make hay, and so it's good to be here.
Yeah, it really is. And, when you talk about certain games, and this is a special game because of Marc-Andre Fleury and what he brings to the table, game in and game out, and the crowd here cheering him on. You want to make sure that you're on the winning end of things by the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an emotional game. I mean, it's emotional for him. So he's been a leader all year since being here, and such a special player and goaltender in this league. So, we gotta just really buckle up and work our butts off for this guy and make sure it's a great night for him.
We'll let you after one more question, but this team also, the last couple of games, really going north of that puck all the time.
Yeah, we got our legs. We're skating. We're simplifying things. We're reading off each other, and it's going well so far, and something that we just need to keep building that confidence with.
Yeah, absolutely. Let you get in the dressing room, get some rest, ready for the third period.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Marcus Foligno, our guest here. Kevin, doing a great job once again as always, and this is a very emotional game as he talked about, a special game. So let's go back to you.
No doubt. Thank you, Thomas, for joining us in the intermission. Marcus Foligno will get a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. 2-0, the Wild lead the Canadiens after 40 minutes. We'll break, and then when we continue, part 2 of Tom Reed's Hotline. Text us now, 64686. You could get a pair of tickets to a Wild game, to an upcoming home game. If you want to get tickets, you can always go to wild.com/hockey tickets. Tom Reed's Hotline is next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
As the nominees arrive for music's biggest night.
Goosebumps even thinking about it.
Sirius XM's The Grammy Channel brings you live interviews and conversation direct from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles.
I'm speechless, man. I'm here at the Grammys.
With ongoing pre-show coverage leading up to the 67th Annual Grammy Awards telecast.
If I won, I would freak out.
I know that's right.
Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific on The Grammy Channel. Sirius XM 17 and at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You can win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or Wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
Part 2 of Tom Reed's Hotline. A lot of those good questions coming in at 64686. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, and we'll go to the 651 area code. I'm talking about one of the young goal scorers tonight for the Wild, Liam Ogren. Tom, looks strong tonight. What do you think?
Well, I think he's learning how to play the game. I really do, Kevin. You look at guys like that coming into it. Sometimes it's a little different setting. If you're not used to the big ice surface to begin with, it always makes it a little more difficult for those players. But Holgram, I think, is a guy that can certainly make a difference here in the future. And he's learning how to play the game. And I think a game like this, when there is a lot of emotion in a game, you learn an awful lot just from watching that dressing room and what's going on in that area. But here's a guy that's pretty young, just turned about 21 a couple of days ago. So he's got a lot to learn here, but he seems to be fitting in very well with his team.
From Drew in Clear Lake, Wisconsin, this might be a setup, being that we're in Montreal, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Tom, who's your favorite all-time player?
Montreal, are you talking...
just in general. I think it's one and the same, but who is your favorite all-time player ever to grace an NHL sheet of ice?
Well, Mr. Beliveau, Jean Beliveau, was my favorite player as a youngster growing up and playing against him also, and to have the privilege to play against him and to get to know him a little bit off the ice in different events that I've been to. He passed away a few years ago, but just he carried himself with such a great dignity, and I think he was one of the people that people really looked up to as not just the fans here, but the players on the ice as well.
I'm going to ask you about another former Montreal Canadien, and every time you guys are in Montreal, this name jumps to mind. Former Wild head coach Jacques Lemaire. What's the latest with old Jacques?
Jacques in Florida. He survived the bad weather down there where he lives, so that was a good sign. But he was just recently inducted into the Ring of Fame, I believe it's called, with New Jersey Devils. 11 Stanley Cups he has. So can you imagine? Can I just have one of those rings? You only got 10 fingers and toes, so give me the other one. But he has 11 Stanley Cup, 8 as a player, one as a coach. In fact, when New Jersey won their first cup in 1995, he was the head coach then. And then he got a couple with management when he was with the Montreal Canadiens. So he's done well, and a great friend. Talk to him every few months, couple of months, we just converse. But when he was with Minnesota and all those years, he and Mario Tremblay, we had a lot of fun together.
Yeah, what's the latest on Mario? When was the last time you talked to him?
Probably about 3 years ago. I called him, but he doesn't call me back. Maybe he thinks he has to pay the charge or something. That's probably the problem with him. But he's doing quite well, from what I understand. He had a radio show here at one time. I'm not sure he still has it or not, but boy, he was a very fiery individual.
That's another guy that I loved talking to back in the day. I'm in the same boat. Haven't heard from him in so many years. It'd be great to reach out and get a call back. Maybe we'll try and do that. Last one here from Brian. I heard your conversation with Lou Nanne last night. Of course, he's working on the television side during this road trip. Brian wants to know, have you ever called a game with Lou Nanne?
No, I have not, because we're both doing the color part of things, but I have not. But I've been in the vicinity and been in booths where he has been. I've been doing the broadcast, or he's been doing the broadcast, but no, we have never called a game together.
Has he ever picked up the tab in a dinner that you two shared?
I always do. Louis doesn't spend money very often, believe me.
I knew the answer to that one. Thank you, Tom.
And it's true.
I know it is.
He's never missed a meal either, I can tell you that. If there's a sandwich, Kevin, I'll tell you one thing. If there's a 100-yard dash and there's a sandwich there and 100 people racing for it, he'll be the first guy there.
That's fantastic. All right, I got to go. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Tom Reed out there at the Bell Center taking shots at Lou Nanne. We love that. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Only Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Ogren with his first, 2 minutes and 4 seconds later. Rossi with his 18th, and Marc-Andre Fleury perfect through 40 minutes. 3 saves in the first, 5 more in the second. Wild lead the Canadiens 2-0 after 2 periods of play. The third is next from the Bell Center. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care, like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
We are gathered here to
What's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Visit Parlor St. Paul before or after the Wild game or anytime for great food, drinks, and service. Located on West 7th. Go ahead and make a reservation before the puck hits the ice. Parlor St. Paul is here to celebrate the wins and help forget about the losses, and they're here for the long run. This neighborhood establishment is celebrating 6 years of tasty burgers and craft cocktails. On game days, enjoy complimentary valet parking and half off your first 2 tap beers or house wines from puck drop to close. Located on West 7th, it's Parlor St. Paul.
When cleaning a jewel, it's important to rub and wash the jewel repeatedly. Perhaps that's why every team in the league has taken to giving hard-working Wild forward Jewel Eriksson Ek a face wash. A small price to pay to add a little polish to your game. Jewel Eriksson Ek. Not weird. Why?
Whether it's a division collision with the Blackhawks or a battle with the Flames, the Wild look forward to you bringing the noise to Xcel Energy Center. Buy your tickets today at wild.com/hockey tickets.
We're back for the third period in Montreal, where the Wild lead 2-0. Eriksson Ek on the center ice face-off against Suzuki. Wild from left to right on your radio dial in the third. Canadians from right to left. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. The Wild have a lead, Tom. They've been so good on the road this year overall, but especially when they're playing in front.
Yeah, and when they're playing in front when they leave after 2 periods, their record is 19-0-0, and it's amazing. And I look at the Montreal Canadiens, when they trail after 2, their record is 4-16-1, so they've lost 17 of those 21 games.
Zuccarello, a side angle shot, stopped by Dobis, a young goaltender. Hails out of Ohio State University from his collegiate days. Boldy now on a reset off to Middleton. Flipped along Zuccarello. Matheson closes Zuccarello. Dancing with the puck left side. And just rolled it around the end wall. Boldy grabbed it on his backhand. Closed on by Suzuki. And then Caulfield. Eriksson Ek joined the scrum. Eriksson Ek then trying to step in front. The puck played with a high stick. So a whistle here with 19:19 to go.
And that will keep the face-off outside the defensive zone of the Montreal Canadiens. First few minutes, once again, Joe, we talk about, especially when you have a 2-0 lead, you don't want to slow down and give them life by giving them a quick goal. And we've seen it happen. Chicago most recently, but Minnesota was able to keep the lead in that one.
Here's Chisholm at the left point, offers it along looking for Spurgeon, who had crept in. That's batted away. Xhekaj will race to it. Diving effort by Foligno. Kept him from just carrying along, and now finally it is Hudson. Going to weave his way past Spurgeon. Lane Hudson around the net. Hudson checked by Spurgeon and forced off the puck. Boy, Jared Spurgeon, Tom, just continues to play so well. Wild just got to keep him healthy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course, he spent a little bit of time on the sidelines this year because of the, just the aftermath of the surgeries he had last year, both on the back and on the knee, I believe.
Here's Kirby Doc now for the Canadiens to charge ahead. Both teams just finished a change. Doc trying to take on several Wild players. Nearly got through the slot cleanly, and then Merrill jumped up and sort of punched that puck away from trouble. Shore for Minnesota. Picked up a helper last night to Devin Shore. Second point in Minnesota sweater, and a high stick infraction again. This time on Montreal with 18:13 to go. Talked about it last night, Tom, the 19 road wins. It matches last season's total coming into this game. The Wild, through 27 road games, a 759 points percentage, tied for third best ever in NHL history through 27 road games to start a year.
Well, they've been actually terrific on the road. And why they're so much more relaxed on the road, you just look how they're going with the puck, carrying the puck and talking to Marcus in between periods, going north of the puck. They feel so confident when they get on the road for some reason. They're not tight at all. And when you start to lose, like at home on the road, then you really start to tighten up.
Gallagher, a shot that went wide. And a stick save by Fleury on the follow-up try by David Savard. Gallagher now trying to sneak out in front through one of the slot. It was batted away. Got it back. And Fleury fought it on. At the blue line, Savard. Goes to the left side. Struble. Long chance. Whistled wide. Savard steps to it. Carved his way past Ustadinov. Then he was met in the corner by John Merrill's body check. Ustadinov picks up the puck. Shifted at the shore. He couldn't get it out. He was pressured immediately. So they go back to the corner over the right shoulder of Fleury, where Ustadinov dug it free. Saucered it off his end wall, and Merrill skates to his left. Frisbees it ahead and got it out the center where Shore taps in.
Once again, everything was on the outside in Minnesota's zone. They couldn't get the puck to the front of the net. A nice little play, just getting the puck to nice and soft, getting out of the zone.
Speaking of all that road success, last night after the win in Toronto, Joel Eriksson told the local media, maybe we should just start wearing our white jerseys at home. Teams have tried crazier things, I'm sure. Just over 3 minutes played now in the third. Faber back of his own net. On a backhanded try, got it to Middleton. He'll pump it up, not quite out. Jack-Eye held the line. Evans twisting it in front. Ricochets free. Jack-Eye tried it behind the back feed. Ogren got a piece of it, but he couldn't gather it cleanly. For the Canadiens stay in business. Jack-Eye to the slot. Armia wrister was blocked. And reaching for it, Evans couldn't get there. And the Wild come ahead with Liam Ogren. A chip and chase deep into the Canadian zone. Trenton there first for Minnesota. Tossed it around the end wall. Evans spun off a hit and labeled it back for Lane Hudson. Hudson still just 20 years of age. Played just under 24 minutes on Tuesday for Montreal. Through 2 periods here tonight, he had gobbled up another almost 14 minutes time on ice. They think they've got a good one, and the very offensive-minded and shifty defenseman Lane Hudson.
Yeah, I would think they do have a good one. They've got some nice young kids on this team, but it's going to take time to develop them.
Slavkovsky started the cycle around. Now Carrier through the high slot, whips it deeper into the Wild zone. Montreal came into this game 5th in the wild card standings in the Eastern Conference. Remember, top 2 get in if you're not one of the 3 teams, the highest spots in your division. There's a jam play here. Fleury fought it off as Carrier tried to sneak out in front. So 5th in the wild card, but just 2 points out. So some teams to jump, but not a whole lot of ground to do so. Meanwhile, the Wild 3rd in the Central is, oh no, Eriksson went hard into the Montreal net and he grabs his left ankle.
Oh boy.
He got tripped up going to the net by Matheson, who put his stick into the skates of Eriksson. I didn't look intentional, but Eriksson slowly to his skates here is the net way off its pegs, and he's looking around wondering why there wasn't a call. He was tripped.
Yeah, and sometimes you use this as more of a point, trying to feel where guys are. You know, if you're in front of the net watching something, trying to watch.
See if we can get another look here, Tom. Zuccarello, well, there's the aftermath of it. Watch, he grabs the bottom of his left skate. Every time a player for the Wild doesn't get up quickly, you just hold our breath, no matter who it is, really. Yeah. They can't seem to get through the injury issue. Eriksson on the bench for now, grimacing a bit, it appears, as the Wild have made a line change. Through center ice, Rossi stashed it back, Chisholm rips it along. A tip in by Hartman catches the glass and leaks deep into the Canadian zone, where Marcus Foligno's the first man there. 2 Montreal players swarm him. Help coming now from Rossi. Canadiens take over. Matheson charges out left side, uses the ice in front of him, crosses the offensive blue line, and this play offside, and Hartman didn't like that late shot. He thought it was Gallagher. Gallagher gave him a cross check. It was actually Matheson who shot it after the whistle.
No damage done, I don't believe, on either side. And right now you don't want to take any unnecessary penalties. And I know sometimes you want to do something in a situation like that, but at the same time the team has to come first. So with 14:59 to go here in period number 3, Minnesota still in the lead 2-0, and they've outshot the opponents, the Canadiens, 17-11.
This is the final game in January for Minnesota. They're 7-6-0. They finished December at 7-7-0. So a win here tonight would mean January was better than December, and anytime you're winning, going above 500 a month, you give yourself a chance when it's all said and done. Giveaway by the Wild. Anderson, a shot fought off by Fleury. He glanced his left pad and his glove out. Now another giveaway and a quick shot by Anderson. Stopped by Fleury. Rebound in the slot. Loose puck. Anderson a try and a right shoulder save by Fleury. Stopped him 3 times here on this shift alone. Struble to the blue line. Right side. Broken stick for Hartman. A long shot by Struble. Tipped wide in front. Canadiens making their proverbial push as they center. Stopped by Fleury. A 2-pad slide as he robbed Anderson again. Now a point try by Anderson. And that one went wide. Boy, the Flower putting on a show in the third on this sequence alone. Hartman, meanwhile, being wrestled by Savard as Rossi carries ahead and his wrist shot blocked to the corner by Newhook.
Yeah, once again, Hartman right in the middle of the physical part of things. He and Savard coming together. Savard was all over him.
Shore with a shot. He scores! Devin Shore is first with the Minnesota Wild. And it's a dagger in the third as the Wild take a 3-0 lead.
Well, thank Fleury. He come up with a couple of big saves just prior to that. Minnesota comes down the ice, and it's going to be Shore. The big smile on his face, and you called it, Joe. The fact that his first goal as a member of the Wild does a good job of just staying with it. Took that puck and beats him on the goaltender on the stick side. And with that, Minnesota has a 3-0 lead. This goal coming at 5 minutes, 57 seconds of period number 3.
And Tom, countless Wild players going over to their netminder to say, quite simply, thank you.
And they should. They deserve him there for a few minutes, but he stood tall. So that's what you're looking for from your goaltender.
Crowd still up in arms over the scrum between Savard and Hartman, where it looked like Hartman was just being ragdolled by the big defenseman David Savard. Remember, Hartman had broken his stick earlier in that shift. Those two could barely separate. The Wild had a chance the other way. Rossi's wrists are blocked. And then a loose puck was grabbed there by Shore. Just kind of tipped it free to himself, picked his head up and wristed it right past the goal stick of Dobish.
I don't think that things like that play.
Well, Montreal was without a power play Tuesday in their home ice loss to the Jets by a 4-1 score. The Wild haven't taken a minor knock on wood yet in this hockey game. Here's the call.
His first of the season scored by number 19, Devin Shore. Avec tête du numéro 23, assisted by number 23, Marco Rossi. À 5 minutes 57 secondes, at 5 minutes and 57 seconds.
Icing here on Montreal. So the first of the year for Ogren, the first of the year for Shore, with a Rossi tally in between for Minnesota.
Yeah, and that's really nice when you start to get some of the players who haven't been scoring. All of a sudden, they find the back net, and then the confidence starts to build up on those players. Right now, with 13:21 to go, the faceoff is going to be deep in the Montreal zone.
And Rossi now with 7 points in 6 career games against Montreal. He's got a goal and assist tonight. He scored in both games of the season series. Canadiens frisbee it out the center off the one draw. Faber to Middleton, ratcheted right back in from center. About 7 minutes now played in the third. The Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Trying to win 3 in a row, all on the road to kick off this 5-game trip. They've got a 3-0 lead here. Gaudreau paddles it rink wide. Trenyon trying to catch the Canadiens on a change. Fired one in front as he cut right circle. Ogren couldn't get to it. But Freddie Gaudreau steals. Protects the puck, left wing boards, offensive zone. Gaudreau fighting past the check, wrapped up by Slavkovsky. Gaudreau stayed with it, knuckled it in front, the goal stick of Dobish. Nudging it away from trouble, and here's Cole Caulfield. Caulfield, their team leader in shots, the former Hobie Baker winner from his time in Wisconsin. And now Mike Matheson carries in. Dropped it back for Suzuki. Labeled along where Carrier feeds Matheson. A shot rocketed well high and wide. Suzuki had it. Then it was stripped free by Trenyon. And here's Matt Boldy carrying the Wild ahead before moving it to Jules Eriksson. A right circle shot. A heavy one at that. And it was shouldered away by Dobish. Slavkovsky tries to counter. Fresh off the Wild bench, Zuccarello poked it free. Eriksson now stabs it loose, and the Wild have a 3-on-3. Bursting in Boldy. He's got some room. Left circle, cross ice. Eriksson with a shot. And a spectacular sliding glove save by Jakub Dobish.
Yeah, it certainly was. A good play by Minnesota also getting that last shot away. And you see Dobish just coming across, making a save on that one. But good play once again.
Timeout on the ice. 21 shots for the Wild, 14 for Montreal, and Minnesota's opened up a 3-0 lead. Back after this, you're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. And we've got Andy Reid.
You're just got a good football team there. That's all there is to it. They're well coached. They're mentally and physically tough.
I'm lucky to be in the position to have these guys. You get those special groups that come through, and you sure love when you're in a situation like this as a coach and you can feel it.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
With a 3-0 lead, shot right now, 21-14 in favor of the Wild. And, Joe, you go back and you look at these Stanley Cup runs that this team has had in Montreal. 24 Stanley Cups. It has, going back to 1916. They had 4 in a row, going in 1976, 77, 78, and 79. They have a 5-cup run in the 50s. Up to number 60. Boy, they've had a lot of cups. It used to be there were no scouts here because the weather wasn't very good, so the scouts didn't like to come here. So the Canadiens, before the draft, got all the good players. And as a result of that, they were able to get all those Stanley Cups.
Boldy, a quick wrister, set up by Zuccarello. Dovish knocked it down with his glove. Under 12 minutes to go. Wild 3, Canadiens nothing here in Montreal. Christian Dvorak carries along over the blue line, handed to Gallagher, left circle, stop, found Matheson coming late, his chance chiseled away. Boldy trying to tap it out. Carrier bumped him down. Alexander Carrier onto the loose puck. Former Nashville Predators draft pick. Down deep in the offensive zone, Eriksson crumpled him in the corner. Penalty kill. That's just really cheap. Montreal stays in business. Anderson hands it to Matheson, left side, a shot, powered it just wide. Extra attacker out with a delayed call. Suzuki walks in right side. Plays catch with the Dvorak. Suzuki then rolled it back up top, and it goes out to center. Matheson peels back. 11 minutes to go, third period. Wild about to be short-handed. Caulfield over the blue line, muscled it towards Suzuki. Back to Caulfield, up top Laine. Patrick Laine feathers it free to Hudson. Hudson shakes it back to Laine. Left circle has some room, walks in, wristed a shot, Fleury the save, shoulder down the puck after it hit his goal stick, and the Wild able to get a whistle.
Another penalty.
It's Eriksson, and he's not going to be happy. No, he was already on the bench.
Minnesota penalty number 14, 2 minutes 40.
He's been frustrated, a lack of calls on him a couple of times.
I thought they were going to call another penalty. I thought they were going to call double on him, but Eriksson excellent. But that's a push that we see all the time. That's not something that's new. Oh well. That penalty coming in 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Minnesota still in the lead 3-0.
19th in the league. The Canadiens' power play, they were 0 for 3 in November in St. Paul. They sit at 20.3% on the year. The Wild PK, 1 for 1 last night in Toronto. They've given up 10 power play goals in the month of January. They're 30th in the league overall at 70.4%. Hudson to the right side, Suzuki at the faceoff dot. Surveys, plays it to Slavkovsky. And it back to Suzuki. Up top, Hudson. Skates across the blue line through the high slot. Now a set play. Going to drive by Caulfield. Missiled well high and wide. Hudson on the reset. At center point. Right circle, Suzuki. Waiting some more. Middleton close. So it's paddled up top for Hudson. Down low, Caulfield. A shot. He missed high and wide. Suzuki to the rebound. Below the goal line, Slavkovsky centered. Caulfield fanned on it, got it back. And a kick saved by Fleury. Up top for Hudson. He'll shake with it, spinning it back to Suzuki. Power play buzzing here for Montreal. Middleton, Hustadinov, Bogosian and Goudreau trying to kill it off. Up top it comes for Hudson. Again skating towards his left. He'll feed it to the right wing wall. Suzuki takes a look towards the face-off dot. Handed the goal line, Slavkovsky centered. Kick save Fleury on the one-timer by Caulfield, and the rebound paddled down by Minnesota.
Well, a big save by Fleury once again, too. Just on that left pad of his, gets the puck right off the pad, and Minnesota picks it up and gets it all the way down the ice.
Halfway home in the third, the Wild leading in Montreal 3-0. And what we all expect is the final start for Marc-Andre Fleury, the Quebec native, here in his home province. Kirby Dach for Montreal as their power play works back in. Matheson gives it to Dach again. Outside the left circle, pressured by Trenyon. He's joined by Faber with Merrill and Foligno on the PK now. Center point Matheson. Back to the left side it goes Dach. Takes a look. Goal line feed Gallagher. Right back to Kirby Dach. Faber fronting him. Comes to the goal line again Gallagher. Once more for Dach. Walks his way in. Down low again Gallagher. Nothing here for Montreal. Finally a centering pass by Gallagher deflected away. 18 seconds to go in the minor to Eric Sinek. Matheson across the blue line. Fed one into the right wing corner. Reaching for it. Newhook couldn't come up with it cleanly. Foligno trying to dig it free. Twisted it to the slot. Trenyon hounded, but there to poke it out to center ice is John Merrill.
Yeah, good effort by both of them. Minnesota right now working together.
Eric Sinek standing in the penalty boxes. Matheson rumbles back in. Had it tapped off his tape. Newhook couldn't come up with it. Trenyon looking for Eric Sinek on a break. Eric Sinek out of the box. Just couldn't gather it cleanly. And Carrier will race to it for Montreal. So the Wild kill off their lone penalty so far in the hockey game. 8.5 minutes to go. Leading 3-0 in Montreal as it's served in by Armia. Yoel Armia spun off the puck. Zuccarello picks it up. Rips it around his left wing boards. Pinching in Hudson. That's Carrier still out there. Eric Sinek now shoveling it along. And picking it up, Matt Boldy for the Wild. Nudged it free. Eric Sinek inner half of his own left circle. He'll swing it rink wide, and Zuccarello just outside his own blue line bounces it along. Jake Evans to pick it up for the Canadiens with 8 minutes to go. Evans picks his head up, dances through the neutral zone, feathered it off the left wing wall for Xhekaj, who pinches in. Arbor Xhekaj then taken off the puck by the Wild pressure, and Rossi will swing it along where Matt Boldy navigates through the neutral zone and wrists it in from center. It's gloved by Dobish, and he'll hang on with Rossi bearing in. And now some rough stuff here between Xhekaj and Rossi.
Xhekaj took the slash at him. Rossi came right back with one, which he should do. It's interesting, too. You look at a guy like Xhekaj. I don't know how you get the pronunciation. He's from Hamilton, but it's spelled Xhekaj.
Can you buy a vowel?
Well, there's a couple of them there.
Timeout on the ice. Yeah. It is a 3-0 lead for the Wild here in Montreal, trying to pick up a win on this road trip to improve to 3-0 on this 5-game swing. Back after this, the Bell Center. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling, who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Scoreboard update. The Senators are well on their way to their third straight win. They're at home tonight hosting the Washington Capitals. They scored 3 times in the second period to take a 3-1 lead over the Caps. Now 18:29 left to go in the third. Wild will be in Ottawa Saturday night, pregame at 5:45 on most of these same stations. Elsewhere, Carolina still holding on to a 3-1 lead at home against the Blackhawks. The Jets are in Boston. They still lead the Bruins 2-1 now through 2 periods of play. Mark Scheifele, his 30th of the season. Islanders with a 1-0 lead in Philly, and the Red Wings and Oilers just underway. That one is scoreless in Edmonton. Back to Joe and Tom.
I gotta tell you, Kevin, right here, right now, Marc-Andre Fleury is name on the big board. He's on the big board, and listen to this fan. Standing ovation for him. And he's still in the blue paint area, stretching out, getting ready for the drop of puck once again. But boy, what a wonderful athlete he has been, and what a great ambassador for the game of hockey. I mean, listen to this crowd. They won't sit down. Every level. This is a full building, 20,000 plus. And I think he feels very humbled here now. Chinese name. As I said, he grew up an hour and 5 minutes from here, but let's just listen to the crowd.
Simply remarkable. The TV timeout ended a half minute ago, and you don't ever see the NHL not drop the puck when a TV timeout comes to an end. The officials recognizing the moment as well. We're back to live action. Merrill activates left circle, offensive zone, loads blasted one off the shoulder of Dobish. Rossi picks up the rebound, swoops around, hands it to Merrill. He'll punch it down low. Foligno reached out, got only a piece of it. Suzuki failed to clear. Steal by Hartman. Fired it in front. It's blocked. And the crowd again serenading Fleury.
Fleury.
Slavkovsky carries along the Caulfield. He'll fire it down low. Slavkovsky picks it up. Comes outside the right circle. Flexed one in front. Caulfield lost it. Foligno chisels it to the left wing boards. Bogosian and Rossi there, a little miscommunication. Canadians hold in for a moment. Foligno tries to steer it away. Matheson offered one to the back post. Good stick there by Bogosian. Hudson pinched in. Came free. Hudson trying to dance out in front, and too many white jerseys around. As Foligno now safely flips this puck up into the air and out through center. 6:45 on the clock. Third period in Montreal. The Wild 3. The Canadiens nothing. Game was scoreless after 20. Shots rate 3 Minnesota. Montreal had just 8 total shots through 2 periods. Where the Wild got a couple of goals, take a 2-0 lead after 40. Devin Shores first in a Minnesota sweater, giving him points now in back-to-back games with the Wild, making it 3-0 here in the third. Struble left point angles it along. Savard to drive, blocked out in front, hit a pair of skates. Lauko sped it ahead. This goes for icing on the Wild with 6:17 on the clock.
Yeah, when you're in a little bit of trouble, just get the puck down the ice, get the face-off, although Minnesota's face-offs have been horrendous in this game once again. But you know what? Just want to slow things down just a little bit. 6:17 to go, as Joe said. The shots right now 24-17 in favor of the visitors, that being the Wild. Face off to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury.
Dvorak and Ustedinov on the face-off. Puck is down. Faber squeezed it around for Middleton. The swoop to the right side. Lauko just carves it out to center. Ustedinov picks it up. He's got some space, charging in, faked the slap shot, then fired a little snapper. Kicked out by the left pad of Dobish. Canadians in transition with Dvorak. Slowed down by Middleton. Those two go to the corner. Middleton staples him to the glass. Lauko picked it up but turned it over to the point Savard. Snaps a feed to Struble. Struble wrister blocked by Shore. And it ends up one row deep to the right of Fleury.
And that's going to put the face-off, I believe, just outside the defensive zone of Minnesota. That's going to be inside. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There's still some question. But they're going to take the ice.
So, our final break of regulation with 5:47 to go. The Wild 3, the Canadians nothing from Bell Center. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
From snow and ice to road salt and sludge, Minnesota winters can be tough on your car. Get clean car happy no matter the forecast at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Tidal Wave's industry-leading car wash gives your vehicle a fast, thorough clean to preserve your car's finish from the elements. Experience clean car shine worth cheering for at Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the state of hockey's car wash destination and proud car wash partner of the Minnesota Wild.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Passing along energy-saving tips to your kids can make a big difference today and for tomorrow. Teach them to turn lights off when they leave the room, or why it's important to adjust a thermostat, even by a degree or two. Let your children be in charge and help them understand the value of energy conservation. Learning these simple yet important behaviors at a young age will help them take these energy-saving habits into adulthood. Visit xlenergy.com/ways to save for more ways your family can help conserve energy in your home.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better. Now 6:17 remaining in this hockey game right now. Minnesota still with a 3-0 lead. Face off deep in the Wild zone to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury, who's certainly being recognized with the love that the fans have for him tonight.
Off the draw. Gallagher lost it as Chisholm swept it loose. Now Freddie Gaudreau. Trenyon hacked ahead for Liam Ogren to open the scoring in this one. Ogren spun up right circle offensive end, found Trenyon. A little side angle shot. Was going wide, but Dobish has it in his glove. 5:30 left.
Yeah, Trenyon's picked up his game a little bit as of late also, which is a much-needed luxury for Minnesota. They need everybody to contribute. And when you're not contributing, it gets noticed, but not just by the staff, but the fans also notice. So you want to make sure that you're at least engaged in the game. Not that you have to get points all the time. Everybody brings something a little bit different to the game.
Wild's record without Kirill Kaprizov, 8-5-1. That's before tonight. Sounds like maybe Jonas Brodin and Marcus Johansson could join the team later on this road trip. That would be a big boost on both fronts.
Yeah, it really would be. And, of course, you're going to have injuries. We're going to see more down the road here. But you want to be healthy going into the playoffs. Now, we have a long way to go before playoffs, so we're not talking that yet. But at the same time, you want to make sure the core of your team is healthy going in.
Last year, the Wild hit 30 wins on game number 63. They picked up their 30th win last night in Toronto, looking to add to it here in Montreal. They've got under 5 minutes left, trying to protect this lead. Chisholm from the red line fires it in. Dobish knocked it free, nudged along by Matheson safely through center. Armia grabs the bouncing puck, carries in a toe drag move and a shot. Fleury salts it away.
Yeah, a good shot by Armia coming in here also. A little drag there. You wonder if he's going to pass or shoot. He had a quick release on that one, but there was the Flower grabbing onto that one. Number 29 doing his job. No one's leaving. It's going to be interesting to see how the fans react at the end of this game also. How many are going to stay around? Because I would hope that Marc-Andre will do a couple of circles around the perimeter here just to say thank you and goodbye.
Well, with the Wild not leaving for Ottawa, train ride tomorrow afternoon. Not like the team's got to buzz out of here. We know that the Flowers got a lot of people in the stands here tonight that he's close with, so I'd imagine he'd take his time and enjoy this one.
He said he's working for nothing tonight because he bought a bunch of tickets.
Off the draw with 4.5 left. Hudson feeds it to Matheson. Into the corner it comes Slavkovsky. Empty net now for the Canadiens. They pull Dobish. A shot by Hudson. Stop. Rebound. Sitting in the slot. Both teams looking for it. Zuccarello picks it up. Frisbees it to the empty net. Just wide. Zuccarello trying to win the foot race for icing. He can't. Line A there first. 4:19 to go.
Yeah, gutsy move. Yeah, they want to get a goal. That's what they want right now. They're not so much thinking about winning the game. They just don't want to give Fleury the opportunity to have a shutout against him. Minnesota already has a shutout against the Canadiens this year by a score of 3-0 back in the Twin Cities, back in St. Paul.
Off the face-off, Canadiens control again. Matheson right circle at the hash marks. Empty net for Montreal. It's a 6-on-5. They trail 3-0 with just over 4 minutes to go. Center point Hudson. Weaves it back along Matheson. Middleton trying to box out Caulfield in front. Hudson outside the left circle, pass block. Faber knocks it out to center. Foot race here. It's Boldy and Hudson. Boldy trying to get there. Hudson just a stride ahead of him to keep Boldy from an empty netter. Boy, can Hudson really skate?
Can he ever?
Caulfield carries along. Knocks it in. Middleton picks it up to the right of Fleury. Banged it off the boards. Knocked down by Laine. He'll shuffle it free for Caulfield. Zuccarello trying to steal. But to rip it free did Eriksson Ek. Tapping along, hoping for Boldy. It didn't leave the zone. Middleton swats at it. Zuccarello carries out the center ice on his backhand. Turns to his forehand by the penalty box area, where he pushed it back free for Faber.
Give it to Fleury. Let him get a goal.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
Boldy towards the empty net again, this time from the offensive blue line. Hudson saved the day once more for Montreal. It's played down by the Canadiens. No icing. Still a ton of time, though. 3:11 to go and counting. The Wild in front, 3-0. Spurgeon deep in his own zone. Chipped it loose. Boldy spins off ahead. Backhand knuckling this puck out through center. That's gloved down by Slavkovsky. The Wild change on the fly. Alexander Carrier rims it in. Fleury tried to stop it back of the net. Now Middleton behind his cage. To Spurgeon. Chipped it free. Gaudreau kept it coming, and it's pitched along out the center ice by Zuccarello. Foligno has been the empty net hero lately for the Wild, with one of those in back-to-back games. Gave up the puck here. Zuccarello, the empty cage. He misfired past the short side post. Gaudreau hustled to it. Jack-Eye working him over. Gaudreau able to fight for it again. Freddie Gaudreau cutting through the high slot, got his feet taken out, and play continues. Laine taps along at the end of his shift. Couldn't do much there. Bogosian paddled it free. 2:22 to go. Bogosian from the red line left side thought better of it. Dropped it back to Foligno. He'll just touch it out to center ice. Hudson back. 2:12 to go now. Canadiens from right to left on your radio dial. Jack-Eye hits the red line. Serves it in. Again, Fleury unable to settle it down. It's whistled through the Wild slot. Driving at it, Spurgeon right wing corner. He'll hack it all the way down. Boldy this time was ahead of the pack, and they call it icing.
Why? That should not be an icing call.
So a draw to the right of Fleury.
Yeah, I don't get that one. Minnesota certainly would have got to that puck first.
Gaudreau and Dvorak on the draw. Dobish has been at the bench for a couple of minutes now, and there's still 2 minutes to play. Doc held the puck in for a moment, worked at the Hudson, who's clearing, or his dump down, was batted away by Spurgeon, fed to Trenyon, and it goes through center ice. Wild trying to sort things out defensively here as Boldy pressures. Hudson plays it in. 100 seconds to go. Bogosian rattles it around to the right of Fleury. Doc and Trenyon come together. Spurgeon joins the scrum. It's 3-0 Minnesota here with 90 seconds to go. A loose puck picked up by Freddie Gaudreau. The Bromont, Quebec native, scores from center ice. And it's 4-0 Minnesota with $1:27 to play here at Bell Center.
Good play once again by Freddie Gaudreau. So often he's that defensive player you're looking for. He kills penalties and so on, but also he can put the puck in that. Last year was a tough year for him. He was injured, I think, most of the year. Just didn't. He played under the guys that he was okay, but he was not. But this year has really stepped up his game, and that's a huge goal for Minnesota. As Freddie Gaudreau gets one, and his fans here, his family, part of his family here to see this game here tonight, does a great job. That is goal number 10 for him.
He missed last year's game in Montreal because he was hurt the game prior in Toronto. The Wild schedule eerily similar in that regard, Toronto to Montreal, 2 years in a row. Although last year was very early, games 2 and 3 of the campaign. Gaudreau back in his home province with a 2-point night here for Minnesota. Shots are 26-19 in favor of the Wild. Dobish is back between the pipes, and a long drive by Lauko was tipped by Hustadinov. Dobish had to answer that. And Montreal forces the issue out the center. Declan Chisholm from the red line left side sends it in. Dobish off the glass. Harvey Pinard flips it ahead. Armia to Evans. Jake Evans over the blue line. Bumped by Merrill. It ends up down below the goal line. Chisholm carved it to Merrill. He'll tip through center. 44 seconds to go. It's rimmed around the boards by Montreal. Foligno wins his battle along the dasher. Skates the Wild ahead and then carves back.
Go back with it. Kill the clock.
Merrill, D to D for Faber. 30 seconds left. Brock Faber sweeps it ahead to Rossi. Chipped a little bit further. Too far, though, for Hartman. Carrier around the net. The crowd again chanting Fleury. 20 seconds left here in Montreal. The Wild in front 4-0. A flipper in, Dvorak. And a glove down easily by Fleury, who played it off to his right. A dozen seconds to go here at Bell Center. Below the goal line, Gallagher, muscle one in front, pad save Fleury. Rossi to the rebound, cuts to his left, scoops out to center ice. And that's going to do it. Unbelievable here tonight in Montreal. The Wild celebrate with Marc-Andre Fleury, who pitches his 76th regular season NHL shutout, his third all-time against the Canadiens, a team he grew up idolizing, as the Wild win here at Bell Center 4-0. And look at that celebration, Tom Reed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jordan. It was interesting to watch the players coming off the bench. I never saw them move so fast coming off the bench at the end of the game, but they wanted to get in there, and offer his congratulations, John Hines and his staff, walking just past the group, and all huddled around Fleury. And listen to the fans here. Unbelievable. What a great night.
And Tom, the Canadiens players, almost all of them have stayed out at center ice. They're on the Canadiens bench. And listen to this place. Fleury now has gone out to the neutral zone to shake hands with the Montreal players. It's got a playoff series feel to it from that regard. Classy move by Montreal here in their building as Fleury pitches the shutout in storybook fashion here tonight at Bell Center.
It'll be tough to pick the player of the game in this one.
I'll give you some time to think about it. And the Wild team waiting for this one-man handshake line essentially to wrap up. Jakub Dobiš, the young Czech goaltender, who Fleury dueled with tonight, the final man. And Marty St. Louis, the Canadiens head coach, a great French-Canadian star himself, as well as the rest of the Canadiens coaching staff now shaking Fleury's right hand.
All Minnesota players still on the ice, having their sticks on the ice as they wait for the man of the moment, Marc-Andre Fleury. That's his first shutout this season. That gives him number 77 in his NHL career.
I don't know that he wants to leave the ice, Tom Reed.
But he just did, but I'm just wondering if he's going to come back out.
Like a rock star for an encore. Well, you couldn't have scripted it any better. But a lot of this season for the man they call the Flower has gone just that way. He's having just an unbelievable year. He's now 11-5-1. His goals against and save percentage will drop down some more as he gets the win in his home province in his final start here to get his 28th all-time win against the Canadiens. His 13th win all-time in this building. And with Minnesota, 3-0-0 for Fleury, just 3 total goals against here in this barn.
Yeah, and you look at also the last 7 decisions now gone 5-2-0, giving up 15 goals in those 7 games. Just terrific. And this is game number 1,043 for Marc-Andre Fleury. And they want him to come back out again. And I think he will. He loves the fans. And it's interesting, too, Joe, when we travel and we get off the bus so often, the crowd of people that are there, and he'll take time to sign autographs. And he'll wait till the last minute to make sure he gets on that bus in time, because he knows the bus will go without him, we think. According to Billy Guerin, anyway, yeah? Everybody's got to be on the bus at the right time.
Yeah, to your point today, bouquet of roses thrown onto the ice here. As Fleury comes out for one final curtain call. He's got a stick that he's going to
give to someone. Oh, boy, can you imagine having that stick? Wow. I'm going to run down there and see if I can